This is not a dream.
Hold on. Here we go. Right, okay, ready? Okay, I'll do it again.
Come on, it's a lovely weather. Outside the snow is falling. Come on, it's a lovely weather. Giddy up, giddy up. Let's look at the snow. Giddy up, giddy up. Just holding your hand. With the song. So nice and lovely. We're snuggled up together. Let's take the road before us. Come on, it's a lovely weather.
Okay, good. Yeah. Right, let's get this out of the way. That's enough of that nonsense. Now it's back to this nonsense. Hello. Let's get up. Natalie. Hello, Natalie.
I want the reindeers back.
I like the horns. Yeah.
Thank you. See, it's reindeer day. So when you went there and the little reindeers were singing, I was like, oh, an appropriate host for a change.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, be back by popular demand, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be replacing you before you know it.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be you. It's going to be the reindeer, and let's face it. Anyway, I like the horns.
Thank you. They're supposed to be more Christmassy, but you can't see it with my hair, so I just look a little bit demonic right now.
Okay.
So,
right,
but they're supposed to be like little antlers. So
you do actually look a bit demonic.
Thank you. Thanks for that. I'm sure you know an
I'm
exorcist that can help me.
Absolute Homer compliment time. Absolute Homer compliment. Yes, right, it's a broadcast. We are broadcasting live from the padded room, or I am at least. Welcome to You'll Be Haunted, the Fright before Christmas. This is a Dogman Teepee exclusive special. I'm your host, Phil Cockrell. And tonight I'm joined by
Natalie.
Co-host and legendary Natalie Mosley.
The legendary
Goldfish Paranormal. We have a stocking full of guests, haven't we?
We do indeed. I'm not sure.
Full of scares.
Yes, I'm not sure who we've got on tonight. Actually, I think it's a bit of a mix today, isn't it?
Really? I haven't finished. Hold on, Mosley.
Sorry.
And a revolving door of the best researchers in the field coming up to share their festive frights. The chat is open, the spirits are high, and the Dogman's watching.
Always.
It is party started. What do you say, Natalie?
Always.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready to ruin some childhoods with scary Christmas stories tonight? That's the question.
I reckon so.
No, I think so. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I've already got my demon horns on. Let's go for it.
Right, let's get the bunch on, shall we? Right, first of all, we've got this is the order that they came on. First of all, when they came onto the studio, we have Cindy, aka Giggles.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, really good. Yeah, not too bad. Being like just super busy, like yourself, super busy.
Yeah.
Just
like I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the invite, Phil. I'm excited.
Oh, you're welcome. Honestly. Oh, I'm so happy you could make it. I really am. Because we had the right blast before, didn't we?
Yes, we did. I had an absolute blast last time.
we thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely. Oh, I loved it. I must admit, and you live up to your nickname. You really do.
Oh, thanks.
We have also we have the next one on. If I remember, what was the next one on? I know. It was Sin Schrader Hill. Hello, Sin.
Hi.
See, we've got matching reindeer horns.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I like that. It's not very impressive at all.
Yeah, I love it.
Christmas hats, And where's his
Love it.
Christmas hat? I got a memo. Make sure there's Christmas hats on. And I thought, I'm not doing Christmas hats, but I'll put my antlers on. Was Phil wearing a Christmas hat right now?
No.
Scrooge.
I'm not wearing a Christmas hat. No, I'm not wearing. You don't have to sort of come down to that. So everyone knows it's Christmas. I don't have to wear a Christmas hat. I've got my romping jumper. Look, romping reindeer.
Reindeer.
But they're not romping so much, are they? No. But
it's like the brownest Christmas jumper in the world, isn't it? It's like, Christmas jumpers, expect them to be like shiny and bright and festive. And Phil's is like, what is it, brown?
Yeah, it's just like it's black like my soul.
I can't quite manage to be black as the depths of hell, but
I was a happy-go-lucky. I'm only 22. I was happy-go-lucky when I first started this show. I was quite a cheerful character. And then, the long drip of the podcasting world just kind of took its toll. And look at me. Look at the state of me. Honestly.
No, it's terrible.
No, Phil. No, you look wonderful, Phil. You look absolutely.
You look like leftover coffee grounds.
Right. Who else did we have on after Sin? It
Moving
was,
on.
if I'm not mistaken. Moving on really quickly.
What a racing gets to.
Is Wayne? I believe we had Wayne on. Wayne. No, we didn't. We had sorry, Wayne. We had 1 minute, Wayne. Oh, no. We had Joy, wasn't it? Joy next.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to bring him on. Let's bring him on. Right. Hello, Joy.
Hi.
Joey, we finally met.
Love the reindeer ears. They're so cute.
Thank you.
I got my horns on my shirt.
Close enough.
Love it.
Phil, I don't think you guys met. This is the other half to JJ. So this is Joey.
Yeah. Hello, Joey. You all right?
Yeah.
Hi, Joey.
Hi.
Okay. That's good. We shall rock and roll in a minute. We've got now. We have a UK paranormal guy. From Spookinori, I believe. He works a lot with Mark Manley. Let's have a look, and we've got Wayne Seaton.
Yeah.
Hello.
You're looking good, Wayne. You're looking really good, mate.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh no! Put it back on.
Oh, I almost broke the camera then. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Phil. I've got to take it off.
All right, mate. All right. Okay.
It's like the tropics in there.
Yeah, I should have put a warning up for young children on the show, really. But anyway, it looks really good. Thank you for making the effort, mate.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Looking like that, you should sort of do one of those Russian dances, Go on, watch while you do it.
I think I'd fall over if I did. So,
right. Last but not least, we have Daniel, Cryptid Wrangler. Here we go.
Hey,
Daniel.
You made it.
Nice to be here. Hey.
Yeah. It's a jolly little crew we got. Yes, it is. A jolly little crew.
We were jolly a minute ago. We've stopped.
Hold on, Sin. I'm going to take that off, Sin. 1 minute. I will take that off. Never fear. All right. Philly is here. Yeah. Let's have a look. Where was it? Ooh. Oh, I know. I forgot. Hang on. Right. Boom. Bang. There we go. Okay, we're good. I'm going to move some people about so that we're a bit more. I'm going to move you There you go. Oh, no, one more there. There you go. I'm going to move that leak over to there, like that. Okay, I'm going to move Giggles over that way.
We're supposed to say we.
Okay. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Good. So, how's the year been then for you guys? What's it been like?
You guys put me right between you two so you could keep me in line, right?
Yeah.
No, so that we can replace Phil. You see, me and you we can take over if he starts waffling. So me and you, we're in prime position. So
yeah,
if we need to interrupt him,
yeah, you're right at the top. So you know when you two start kind of like going into one of your waffling modes, I can just like.
There you go. That's it. We're done now. That's it. Oh no, he's back again.
Just have a little kip.
He's waffling.
Oh, waffle. Yeah, wow, when you're waffling.
When he starts, I can just hold it up. I've been looking for something. He says he's got a bell for me, so I'm going to get a waffle. And every time he starts, I'm going to hold the waffle up. That's genius. I'm so going to do that.
Funny.
Sorry, Phil.
That's the Natalie bell. Yeah. She does, honestly. I mean, between you and me, boy, she goes on. It's life sucking. It's life sucking.
Then you see, that's the thing. It's more interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, thank you all for coming on. I do really appreciate it. Natalie does as well. You know, because let's face it, we wouldn't have a flipping show, would we?
No, it'd just be me and Phil.
Right. So, okay, I'm going to start the conversation off with just asking each one of you if you could just tell us briefly about your paranormal interest and what kind of background you're coming from. Are you an author? Are you an investigator? Are you a researcher? And how long you've been doing it for? So can I start off with, first of all, the first lady that came on, Giggles, Cindy?
Well, my first paranormal experience was when I was a kid. I was between 7 and 8 years old, and it was my great-grandfather. And then as time went on, as I got older, I started experiencing more and more and getting messages. And then eventually started working on my abilities. And Joy and Joey have been actually a part, especially Joy's been very encouraging on that because I get a little discouraged. Or question my abilities. And she's like, no, because we go on investigations together with Joy and Joey, and she confirms, what I'm picking up. She'll confirm it with the history of what has been researched on. So it's been quite an experience. And then I started a team, Federal Paranormal Investigators, which is Daniel is part of. He is an actual investigator with myself and Jimmy. And he also does the weresearch that's necessary. Videographer, photographer, both the guys do it all. We actually we're going to be doing it all together. So as a team, so we all have parts on being on camera and participating with working with the equipment. So we've got to have a meeting here soon, Daniel, for the next year. Because we've got some locations I want to talk about some locations, but yeah, I've had a lot of experiences and want to continue and definitely have some big plans for FPI for 2026. So we're excited.
Outstanding. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like you're forging ahead with quite a few. Main plan anyway. You said you do a documentary that you were going to be working on, hopefully.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk with the guys, and I've got some states that I want to go to where I want us to investigate, especially the Appalachian Mountains, not only for paranormal, but also for cryptid. I've got some friends in North Carolina who are willing to actually take us to areas where they've had their own experiences and where there's actual evidence of Bigfoot. So I'm really looking forward to that and collaborating with the NCI team and getting that experience, because I'm dying to see a Bigfoot or experience it firsthand instead of always just listening or seeing a video or seeing pictures. So, because I want to experience, huh?
Be careful what you wish for.
I'm excited. So, but it's something that I definitely have some big plans for the team in 2026. I really want to get out there and get feet to the ground and start doing actual field research and I get it documented. So I would like to try to get with the guys and talk about doing a documentary.
That'd be really cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's in
excellent.
the future. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a big thing to put together a documentary. It is a big thing.
Yes.
There's a lot of work involved.
Yes.
Right, I'm going to move along to our left, on my left. I think the people's left are looking. Wayne, can you tell us a little bit about? Hello, can you tell us a little bit about what got you onto the path of the paranormal?
Right. Well, my first experience was when I was 6 years old, shortly after my grandfather was killed in a shipyard accident. And for the best part of 6 months, I kept saying to my parents I could see him in my bedroom. And they all said, no, it's just because you miss him so much. But when my mum recorded the conversations I was having and child psychologists were involved, they were turning around and saying there's no way that it's just a dream or he's just talking to an imaginary friend, because they were full-blown conversations. And it was sort of, the conversations were leading to how the family were, how individual members of the family were, particularly my grandmother and my mum. And that sort of put me onto the path of wanting to know a lot more about what goes on once the physical goes. And so I started reading lots of books, and when I was old enough, I'd go to local places nearby that were haunted. Unfortunately, after leaving school, I joined the Royal Air Force, and that sort of pushed me away from spirit side of things, and I got more interested in ufology, which I find it very difficult now. We have to call it UApology.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we've called it ufology for so many years, and now we've got to call it UApology, which doesn't sound right. So I got into that while I was in the Royal Air Force, and looking at all the different places where different sightings have been. So you end up with Roswell, Rendlesham Forest, and sort of further afield. And I then sort of ended up walking into cryptozoology by mistake. So I've got a general interest of all-round paranormal. Then I started working with TV's Most Haunted and working alongside them for about 14, 15 years. And during that time, I created Spookinori. I'd always been a bit of an author and a bit of a poet, but never really thought about getting them published. And when I left Most Haunted, I was lucky to be able to keep the Spookinori name. And so I started to publish my own ghost stories through Amazon, because it was the best route for me at the time. That to self-publish doesn't cost you anything, but to go through a proper publisher, everybody was saying you need agents, and they costed X amount per month. And they would try and get your books pushed out to publishers. And to me, it would have ruined the way I wrote my books, because an editor would turn around and say, we don't want it written this way, we want it written that way, or you could add this or add that. And it's not how I want the story to come across to people that read it. I'm now currently on my 5th book. I'm in the process of writing one for Christmas Eve. Every year I write a Christmas ghost story, and I read it out live on Facebook and TikTok on Christmas Eve, to try and bring back the tradition of telling ghost stories on Christmas Eve.
I love that.
But I also run Spookinori events, which Phil, you've been on a couple.
I have. Yeah. Very good.
We are a non-profit organisation. We do it because we love it, and we want people to experience what we experience. So we will hire places out. We don't do many a year because I'm busy doing a lot of other things, such as podcasts. I present an online show called Truth Beyond Paranormal, which comes out once a month on YouTube and TikTok. So I've got my fingers in many pies, but I think it's brilliant. And next year it's going to get even more hectic because I'll be doing some work with Most Haunted's Fred Bat as well.
Oh, I see. Yes, I know about Fred. Yeah, very much. Yeah, I do. Yeah. We shall come back to Fred and also about the voices. I want to delve a little bit deeper into that voices phenomena as well, if that's okay with you. Right, moving on, Wayne. I'm gonna now ask Daniel. Now we know about your cryptid background. You know your history with the cryptids. Can you just kind of like give us a bit of a breakdown on the paranormal side of things that you're interested in?
Like many of you, I started at 13, and I went to record at Warner Brothers Studios to watch a TV show being made, and I needed to go to the restroom, and I walked out the door, and I kind of got lost, and so I was kind of. Some guy walks up right behind me and he says, "Oh, are you looking for the bathroom?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And so as we're walking to the bathroom, I asked him what those people are doing over there in that corner, and why are they all facing the same corner when the rest of this whole studio is behind us. So, and he had said he didn't see anything, and he said, but there were 6 people that died in a fire in that same studio. So it was just outside the studio. So at 13, that's all right. I had learned about it, and I couldn't say anything to my parents because they were Christian, like really Christian. So I asked my grandmother, and she says, "Oh my gosh, it skipped a generation." And I had no clue on what she was saying. And I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "Oh, I would have thought your mom would have gotten it." And still I'm going, what? You know? She says, "Yeah, you can see things, and you're sensitive like me." So, and I've been doing it since 13, on and off for about 40 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna definitely also, because I want to discuss a few things with all of you guys in a few minutes. But Joy and Joey, hello.
Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Yeah, good. You got a big hand behind you, you know. I like your
yeah.
It's really
cool. On your head.
Yeah, on your head as well. Yeah. Same question, really. Let's find out what your interest is, why your interest is in the paranormal, and which one of you two kind of was the instigator. That's what I'm wondering. Is it Joy or is it Joey? Joy. Right. Okay.
So for me, I've always been interested in the paranormal, all the spooky stuff before ghost shows even existed. I was kind of what Wayne was saying. I want to know where we go when we pass away. Like, where do we go? Who are we talking to? You know? So that came later, but as a kid, I loved the spooky stuff. And then over time, we lost, people, family members. And then I became more intrigued. And that's when my curiosity, my questions really started, I wanted answers. I wanted to find answers. Because I'm a skeptic. I'm a little bit of a skeptic. So I'm trying to put this into words, but I thought about it, and then I just had my mind went blank. Anyway, long story short, since losing family members and friends over the years, I became more and more intrigued. So we've been doing this together, full time, 6-7 years?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, because we had kids, so that kind of put a damp, we couldn't go out and investigate with kids. So now that they're all adults, we're free. So we're free. We can do that now. So yeah. Okay. I hate being asked that question, by the way, because I'm like, I have this whole speech in my head.
Yeah, no, it's basically just a little background for people watching, so they know basically, who you are, and
Well,
so-
she doesn't like to admit it, but she does have abilities. She does.
Okay.
I've investigated with them. I've seen it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Definitely want to be asking you about your abilities, Joy. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, apparently, I don't know if I have any, but Cindy.
Oh, you
Love
do.
you.
Just listen, you'll hear it. We'll talk you into it.
Apparently, I'm in denial.
Yeah. Right. I'm gonna swing across because Natalie as well. Natalie, what? Yes. Don't shake your head. No. Come on. We got
answering that question because I'm not normal.
I know.
There you go.
I don't think any of us are.
None of us are.
I don't have an answer because I was like, oh, when was your first experience when I was a child? And it's like, no. I've tried not to have any experiences for most of my life. So I didn't actually start having anything like proper paranormal until like I had my horses. So it's like, and even then it was related to the horses. So it's like, but actual paranormal by a paranormal investigator standard, I would say probably didn't happen until, I don't know, about 10 years-ish ago. And I didn't go, and that was only because I was working in a haunted pub. And I started watching the show that shall not be named. It's Ghost Adventures. And but to be fair to them though, they did get me used to, because I used to find things like EVPs and that terrifying. It's like I said the other day, I've always been terrified of Bigfoot, terrified of aliens, especially the Greys. I couldn't watch X-Files once they started introducing the Greys, and it was a shame because I was a big David Duchovny fan, and I was scared of ghosts. And it's like, I don't want to know anything about that. And EVPs just freak me right out. And it's like, so it was only when I started watching that, Ghost Adventures, that I got used to the phenomenon and hearing it without like it being in a ghost context.
Yeah.
So now I can do EVPs, but and they don't spook me as much. But it's like, so with me, it's been like a slow burn. I've always been like intuitive, but not obviously intuitive. So it's like there was no standalone thing. I'm basically the old sort of like frog in the boiling water thing. And it just ramped up when I got my second horse, because he had so much phenomena around him. So I learned healing and stuff like that. So I haven't come at it even from a paranormal view. I haven't come at it from a traditional. I never listened to ghost stuff when I was younger. I was interested in the occult, and not directly, indirectly, and spirituality and stuff like that, and dowsing and ley lines and earth energy. So I was perhaps more sort of earthy oriented rather than paranormally inclined. So so I don't like answering a question because I don't know how to answer it.
That's me.
It's a sort of vague. It just happened over the years, and it just seemed to have like been ramping up in the last sort of, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or so, I'd say probably. But
kind of like evolved, which it does for a lot of people. It evolves, so it's not something which you just open up a cupboard door and there's a white sheet there with eyes. It's it's the small, tiny little things which happen throughout our lives, right from sometimes an early age, that we don't even really take much notice of at the time. Very much so with our parents, they'll shoo it away. Don't take any notice of that. It was nothing. Honestly, don't worry about that. It was nothing. Just go back to sleep. That's fine. When all the while there's like kind of bed sheets flying around the bedroom, and there's ghosts at the window tapping, and so it's one of these things which I appreciate your honesty. At least it's honest, which is great. All right, now we're coming on to Sin Schrader Hill. What would you say your background and interest? What started it? What was the genesis moment for you, Sin?
Yeah, I have been a weird kid all my life. I'm still a weird kid. Always wanted to be involved with finding out about the ghosts and different things like that, but had no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
And so in 2013, I joined a group. So I've not been at it very long either, Natalie. And so 2013 is when I was trained, because I was watching all the ghost shows, and all of us know now that those ghost shows on TV are not what actually happens in real life.
Right.
So
The most haunted.
yeah,
Most haunted though.
that one is the exception to the rule.
Pretty good.
That I
Right,
was
Wayne?
watching the Ghost Adventures and Zach,
Oh, yeah.
and you know, all the demons and stuff. But yeah, but I guess 2013 I was trained, and in 2014 I formed Elk Valley Paranormal, which short for EVP, because I was working with audio. I like finding the voices.
Yeah.
And everything around me in Tennessee here is Elk Valley this, Elk Valley that. So Elk Valley Paranormal just kind of fell in. I started writing. I started editing first for my friends. And my friend, Mark Elliott Foltz, he does the illustrations for my books and the covers. And he finally asked me after the second one I did for him, when are you bringing yours out? Well, I hadn't even talked about mine. I hadn't even talked about it. I was scared to death to bring one out. And so now I've just brought out number 7. I'm working on 8, 9, and 10 right now. And
Congratulations.
Perfect.
they're all self-published. And they're all on Amazon. So I do the self-published thing too, and believe in it. I don't want to go the traditional route. Yeah.
Right.
So that's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
What about you, Phil?
I'll bring it. Yeah, I'll bring it up to me then. My name's Phil Copful. I never wanted or never had any thought to start a podcast. I never had any thought to go onto YouTube at all. No thought at all. Up until I was put on a cancer pathway. So they thought I had stomach cancer. And for about 3 months, I was put through a whole battery of tests, as you do. And in my head, I really thought that worst case scenario, because you naturally do. I thought, it probably is. I mean, I was like at the time quite selfish. I was like quite, sort of narcissistic when I was found out I had. I was put on the cancer pathway and I had a colonoscopy, MRIs, X-rays, all different endoscopies, all going on with the stomach. And when I say like kind of narcissistic, I was feeling sorry for myself, And then one day in the waiting room, I was looking around and there was a little girl there, and she was only about 8 or 9, and she was waiting for tests, and she was the happiest little girl ever. And I thought to myself, do you know what? And she asked me, she said, we've got into the conversation, and she was like talking, and she was interested in, the ghosty things. And I think it was a way for her to sort of change the subject and to kind of, if you like, it gave her a focus away from what was actually happening. Yeah. Luckily, thank God, she did get the all clear. Her mother told me later on, which is great. I got the all clear and I ended up with Crohn's disease. So during the period of finding out about, because they don't tell you anything, they just test you. I thought, I've got all of these things that have happened to me in the past. All of them I can't quite explain. And I wanted to document them. I wanted to, if I didn't have if I had a finite time ahead of me, and it was like kind of, going to be quite quick, if it was, God forbid, then I wanted something documented. I wanted something to pass on to say, look, these things happened. If they happen to you, then hopefully somebody will go, blimey, I heard some bloke on the podcast saying that that happened to him. He heard voices. He heard this, and that's the reason that I did it. So yeah, and my first ever videos, if you like, were just audio. They weren't visual. They were audio videos. They were just stories, accounts, proper accounts, and they were crap. boy, were they rubbish. It was like a useless old microphone I was using, and I was just sat on the edge of the bed. I'm still actually sat on the edge of the bed, but I've got a comfy chair now. On the edge of the bed. I call it the padded room. It's the bedroom actually, but it's the best room in the house because it doesn't echo, because the other half's got so many flipping clothes. It acts like it's like a proper studio. You know, it doesn't reverberate. The sound doesn't. Anyway, regardless. So that's me. I had lots and lots of interactions. My first cryptid interaction was when I was 8 years old with a Dogman. But I've always been aware of the more unusual things that go on that center around us, all of us, which we get told is nothing. Don't worry about it. And in retrospect, when you look back, you think to yourself, hang on, that was something. That really was something. So yeah, that was my interest, and it's just kind of proliferated from there, and it's grown and sort of, you know, and if anything, I love what I do now because it's put me in touch with so many like yourselves, lovely people that have had the same things happen, and I thank God for that, you know. So that's me. Yeah. Right. Okay. I wanted to ask. There was a few things mentioned, especially with Wayne as well, about about voices, hearing voices. How many of us here have heard disembodied voices? Would you say?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm not talking EVP. I'm not talking EVP. Put your hand down with EVP. Put your hand up again if you've actually heard voices.
Yeah, mimic, like you hear me talking and I'm not talking.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's start with Cindy. Giggles. Let's start with you again. What
so
happened?
I will hear hee in my ear. I was in bed just chilling, relaxing, and next thing you know, it was a woman laughing. It was weird, but it was creepy. And I'm like, what the heck was that? And it was actually here in the apartment. So I have a feeling it's Esmeralda. She's the one in the middle. They are my haunted dolls. So I'm not sure, but it's definitely, it was like a and I'm like, so I've heard that. And then I've also heard, you know, hey in my ear. I've been woken up out of sleep because of us, you know, and it's like, oh, you know, I think I question it. Oh, am I dreaming? Yeah. No, it sounded too real in my ear. And I'm a light sleeper as it is anyway. And so, but yeah, I mean, I haven't heard like full sentences by any means, maybe one day, but I definitely have had, you know, hey, and a laughing noise. The laughing noise was recent.
Okay. Right, Wayne. What voices did you hear?
Well, apart from when I was 6 years old and hearing my grandfather, I would hear the odd names, or it would be something would be saying hello to me, and I always just kept passing it off as something in my head because nobody else had heard it but me. And obviously through sort of teaching myself about the paranormal and spiritualist mediums and things like that, but as you tend to get older, you tend to close off from the outside. You know, the outside world interferes too much. The innocent mind is more open, and so therefore you were able to hear these things. But then as I got older, I started developing is it called tinnitus, the ringing in the ears? But I was hearing voices in amongst that. It was like constantly listening to white noise. It was only very faint, but within that white noise, I could hear voices coming through. It was like playing an SB7, the old spirit box, and having it on the loop feed. And it was having that white noise there. And then every once in a while, something would come through. And I'd be like, did anybody else hear that? And they'd be going, no, I haven't heard nothing. And it wasn't until I started working with Truth Beyond Paranormal that we started doing recording sessions with EVP, and some of the things I was saying was corresponding with what the EVPs were picking up.
Nice.
And we were like, okay, so I've just heard someone from over there say hello. And then when our director has gone back over the footage, she has heard that hello come up on the EVP. The tightness has gone. But every once in a while, something will still come through and say something to me. And I'd be like, no, I must be opening back up again. And it's quite freaky to hear those voices, especially when it comes and goes, because I say to myself, I am still open. I can sense when there's something in the area, in the room, or in a building.
Mm-hmm.
And yet for the spirit to sort of, not communicate, and then all of a sudden it could be months down the line, and all of a sudden something will talk to me again. And I'd be like, okay, this isn't right. So it definitely is a bit of a shocker when it happens.
Did you recognise the voices?
I have only recognised my grandfather's and one other, and that's Joanne, who is a spirit that is attached to me.
The what?
I've got a spirit that's attached to me. Her name's Joanne.
Oh, okay.
And when I first, when I moved out of my parents' house after I left the Royal Air Force, I moved into my parents' house for a little while. Then in 2001, I moved into my sister's house because she moved abroad but kept a house. And I had strange things going on in the house, and I couldn't explain them whatsoever. Then when I started working with Most Haunted, I asked Derek if he knew of anything that was going on at my home, because he'd said there was something attached to me. And he did a little reading and said that you've got a lady spirit that's attached to you. And he gave me a number of a lady that lived near me. She came around and she didn't have my address. I met her at a local bus stop and I walked her to my home. So she couldn't get any background information. And within a couple of minutes of walking through the door, she came out with the name Joanne. She gave her surname. She came out with all these weird things that I hadn't explained to her before, like keys being moved from the front coat rack where I had a little a key hook, and the keys would end up at the back door and no one would be in the house. Cans would be thrown out the cupboard and land face up on the floor so you could actually read what the can said. And she said that she visited the house 2 doors down. And when she left, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to sort of look into this a bit more, research this even more. And I checked with the house 2 doors down and asked if they had any strange things going on. And they said, oh, only every once in a while, maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, something weird will happen. And they never thought anything of it. I then went to Chelmsford in Essex to the Hall of Records and checked on the files of the house ownership. And back in the late 30s, Michael and Joanne Bloomfield had moved into that property until the husband had joined the British Expeditionary Force and went to Dunkirk.
Wow.
The only problem was he never returned. He lost his life on the beaches of Dunkirk, and unfortunately, Joanne died a year later, supposedly of a broken heart. Now, the medium that came round had told me she was waiting for me to return because I am her husband.
Okay. Right.
It was really, really freaky to hear that. And now she literally, we've moved house 3 times since, and she's been with me ever since. And so, of course, that's where the attachment has come from. And every once in a while, she'll sort of do something around the house to let us know. Now, none of us in this house ever eat Parma violets. Yet every once in a while, we would get the smell of Parma violets waft through the house. Okay. We don't have any violets or any flowers in the house because Ellen suffers from hay fever, my partner. And all of a sudden you'd smell the sweets Parma violets.
Wow.
and it's a distinctive smell, and it would just appear. So I know when she's about when I smell that, and it's just bizarre. But I think it's nice and it's comforting as well to know that she's there.
I like how you had confirmation, like you were able to put a name.
Yeah,
like a real person.
It was weird because I mean, you hear people say, "Oh, it's my brother from another mother" and things like that, but to actually hear somebody turn around and say, "You're her dead husband," and how can really? And I'd never thought of reincarnation or past life regression. I never thought of anything like that, and I still don't really think of it because I don't want to have to relive his life or have that image of what he went through in his last days.
Do you have an image in your head? Do you have an image in your head of him?
I do, and I have actually written it down in a story that I'm going to have published at some point, because when I write my books, I do a lot of descriptive writing. So there is a lot of detail in individuals or locations or a type of house. You know, I would go into quite a bit of detail, and the image of Michael that I got in my head wasn't that dissimilar to myself, only had a moustache instead of this white thing under my chin. But I want to draw it, but I'm not a good enough drawer. I want to be able to draw a picture of him.
Maybe you could, ask somebody that is a good drawer, maybe, to sketch you an image out if you describe it well.
Yeah, I mean, I
can do that for you.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing I get is his uniform. Every time I think about him, I get the uniform.
Okay.
But I don't particularly want the image of what he looked like when he passed.
Right.
I'm worried that if I think about that, that's what I'm going to get, and I don't want to get that.
Do you know how he did pass? Do you know how he passed?
It was during the evacuation. So as they were all being evacuated off the beaches, and the Germans were coming in and attacking them as they were being evacuated. I think it was a German bomb landed nearby, and he died of shrapnel wounds.
Okay. Oh, bless him.
They never actually got him off the beach.
Right. Okay.
So,
Wayne, thank you. I just want to quickly go back. Cindy, when you were talking about your voices, were they familiar to you? Like with Wayne,
No.
he had
No.
They weren't.
No.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to ask that. So it's important. There is a point to why I'm asking. Daniel, can I ask the voices you hear? What do you think? Because you're quite a discerning character as well when it comes to you're not just accepting of stuff. If you hear voices, I don't think you're the type of guy that would just like, you would question yourself even. What do you think? What happened to you?
My grandfather had died. I never met him. We went back there for the funeral and to go through the ranch house that he had. And I walked in the front door, and all I heard was, "I should have met you." I was like, I thought my brother had said something. I looked at my father, and they're looking at me like, "What?" And I was okay, And he had said a couple of other things too that I really don't remember that well. But I was in bed, and they were watching like movies that he home movies that he was in, and I woke up and I said, "That's the guy that I heard." And he says, "Yes, that's me." And I said, "See, I told you." Nobody heard anything. He says, "One more time, I should have met you." So he was an alcoholic. And basically, that's what he died of. And he always said that he was going to come out and visit us, and never did. And so that was the kind of the weird thing of how I knew it was his voice, and how I could have matched it with what was on the videos and stuff that he was in. So yeah, that's about it on those.
How old were you at the time when you heard that, Daniel?
I think I was 14. I think 14 or 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was quite clear. It was quite clear.
Yeah. I mean, enough to be able to discern that's the voice I heard. And they said, no, you didn't. The TV was up too loud. I said, no, I was dead asleep. And that voice is what basically woke me up. And for me to go out there and say, hey, that's the voice I heard. And they're like, no, you misunderstood. And they of course, my parents have made up excuses and whatnot, but no, it was definitely him. So
okay, all right. Daniel, thank you. I'm going to move over to Joy and Joey. Okay, you heard voices. Can you let us know what voices you heard? I'm talking like kind of the most standout ones, the ones which had a personal impact on you that you were like, oh,
personal impact. I don't know if I can't remember. I suffer from, I don't know if you guys know this, but I suffer from CRS, which is can't remember shit.
Yeah.
So
me too.
I don't know. I can't remember if I had one did you have one that stand out? We hear voices all the time.
I mean, mainly the EVPs, but as far as outside of the EVP stuff, she's heard stuff. But
yeah. Like he hears.
Okay, let me put it this way. Joy, let me put it this way. Have you heard a voice that is to you a personal voice? To you, was aimed either directly at you or was a voice that you recognized?
Recognize?
I mean, through EVP.
Well, EVPs is like the can't like.
No, I know. I'm just saying,
like just,
but not like outside of an EVP.
We hear so much stuff. Like he'll think I'm talking to him because he's always like, "Huh? What'd you say?" And I'm like, "I didn't say nothing." My kids will say the same thing. I'll hear stuff and think they're talking to me and they're not. So it's like it's constant. We're constantly hearing stuff. So I can't pinpoint. I think if something significant, I think I remember that's like stood out, but no, I don't think so. I don't know unless I really just can't remember. I don't know.
Okay. Well, so you just hear
constantly. It just kind of, you just kind of forget about it.
Okay, so you just hear sort of general things that
we hear voices all the time.
Okay.
There was one time we were investigating. I guess this one stood out. We were at the Goldfield Hotel in Tonopah, or no, Goldfield, where I don't know where it is. We were investigating there, and I clearly heard a man's voice say something. I couldn't make it out, and I ended up catching it on camera. So I guess that was when that stood out to me because I wasn't expecting to hear that. But as far as like anything else, I can't remember. You gotta prep me for these questions because otherwise,
yeah, no, that's fine. Look, at the end of the day, the worst thing that any of us can do is kind of exaggerate anything or make anything up. Honesty is the best policy. I don't want to make
something up just to sound cool. You know what I
mean? No. Honesty is the best policy. Right. I'm going to skip right over to Sin Schrader Hill. Now, you did put your hand up, Sin. Okay, same question to you. What did you hear? Was it personal to you?
It's usually when I'm on investigations, and I have heard my name called twice in the basement of a building here in town. One of the things that stands out the most is when we were at Hellsbar Dam. Yeah. It is a very, very haunted location because it was a flooded area. The Indians were pushed out and, that kind of thing. They flooded the area, moved as many bodies as they could, but the ones that they couldn't get in touch with their family, they left them. So there's tombstones still sticking up out of the water in places. It's a very, very strange area. But we were asked to be part of a public hunt one night, and we were one of my Elk Valley paranormal people, Matthew. who I call my ghost magnet. He was standing next to me, and we were supposed to tell how to do EVPs and how we caught the voices and how to do burst sessions and things like that. And we were getting ready to do one, and we were having the people stand really still, try not to move because all that can be heard by the microphone. And there was a voice that came into my right ear. And I turned and looked at Matthew. Matthew turned at the same time and looked at me. And he said, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "You heard that too?" Later on, the EVP said, "I've got to get justice." So we don't know who that was, but we both heard a murmur at that same time. Very upset man. At the old hospital here, what we normally hear around this time of year, everything after Thanksgiving through December, you can actually hear caroling going on.
So, wow, singing.
Wow.
I've heard that. I've heard singing. Yeah, I've heard singing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just gonna quickly go down the chat just so that just quickly got Sasquatch Sister. Hello, how you doing, Dawn? We've got Roxy B. Hello, Keith Aston. Hello, got Kate. Hello, Kate. Thank you very much, girls, for moderating, both Dawn and Kate. We've also got in the chat. Let's have a look. We've got Susan Susan Valsden. Hello, mate. You all right? She's another paranormal investigator I know about. A very good one. Larry, how you doing, Larry? Larry Luttrell. Ready, steady, retro. Lovely that you could join us. We've got Marcella Silva. Hello, thank you for joining. Zenos Alice. Thank you. Good to see you here. Yay, boy. Frey 67. I guess you're a year younger than me then. Okay. I was World Cup, yeah. Let's have a look. We've got yeah, got quite a few in the chat. Chris Binder, hello. Chris says, "Hi, Sin." You must know him.
Yeah.
Delroy Kelly, hello, Delroy. Very, very nice that you could come on. Got L. Mawson. Hello. Thank you for joining. Good to see you here. Yeah, we've got absolutely tons. Right. Well, I wanted to quickly go down the chat just to mention a few. I'm going to carry on reading out Dragonborn as well. Lovely to have you on. Thank you very much. Got V Team Paranormal 2224. Merry Christmas to you, and Merry Christmas to actually everybody. And thank you very much for joining. As we go along, I shall be shouting out more names, but it's great to see you on here. I wanted to ask the people in the chat, and I wanted to ask you guys in the studio. You've heard these voices. Some of them have been quite personal, names being called. Nearly, I would say, and let me know in the chats as well. Everybody has heard voices. Now, not everyone is schizophrenic. Not everyone has problems. You know, you know, we're quite balanced people. You know, but everybody's heard voices from the point of view of you very often hear. You might have a partner that's downstairs or in the kitchen. You might have a partner that's over the other side of the room, and you'll shout. You'll turn around, and go, "Did you call me?" No, and you'll hear that voice, but that voice will mimic your partner's voice almost identically. So anyone in the chats that's had that, let me know if that's happened to you. That's quite important, because what I'm getting at is how many in the studio, how many people do you think that when we hear these voices, that now don't, if you think it's personal to you, don't get upset by this. This is just a theory, okay? Could it be that these voices are manifesting in such a way as to mimic maybe somebody you know, or mimic somebody that you want, that you're comfortable with hearing, when actually they're not that person. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How many of you think that it could be something completely different, which is mimicking to fool you?
I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
Cryptids, they do that. They try to draw you into a forest line, and then you get lost, and it's somebody, your spouse is out of town, but you hear their voice,
Yeah.
but it's just a little off, and they're telling you, "Hey, I need help. Will you please come help me?" And you're going, "He's away on a business trip, so that can't be him." But it's just a little bit off. But yeah, it happens with cryptids.
A lot of ours is calling us, like trying to get our attention, is what we
Yeah,
hear.
like, hey,
Yeah, or like, I'll hear him say, "Hey," and I'm like, "What?" And he's outside.
Yeah.
Or I'll hear my kids, call me, and I'm like, I'll go and I'll say, "What?" And they're like, "I didn't say anything." They hear that a lot too.
It happens. There's also I don't know what it is, but it's a new phenomenon where there'll be somebody at your front door saying, "Hey, please let me in. This guy's trying to kill me," and this and that. And you answer the door,
Nobody's there.
and you've just accepted that spirit into your house.
Oh,
and they stay.
Well, they say not to answer too. They say when you hear your name, not to answer. But
and that was another thing when we did the documentary a couple weeks ago. One of the guys I was with from, Appalachia, and he would say, "If you hear something, they're called no, you didn't."
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what that meant. He goes,
"Don't answer.
You'll hear somebody call you from a distance, and you'll say, 'Hey, did you hear that?' 'No, you didn't.' You just let it go, forget you heard anything, and just go on about it." So there's different aspects. Yeah.
Creepy. Yeah.
But
That's scary as
similar
hell.
phenomenon. Yeah.
I mean, it goes hand in hand with getting our attention, doesn't it, Daniel? It's like kind of very often. How many people here have heard things like bells? When you've been on an investigation, do you ever hear bells? Wayne, you hear bells?
Not necessarily bells, but I've heard drums.
Drums, I've heard.
There's a place near me, Harrods Redoubt Fort. It was built during Napoleonic times, and it has a dry moat around the outer edge. And on more than one occasion, we've heard what has been described as a drum being beaten. And we've called him the drummer boy. And we've experienced it 4 times now, and out of 10 times that we've been there. And it's specifically in the dry moat. Now, the actual fort itself has been built inside like a hole at the top of a hill. So they've made a crater in the top of the hill, and they've built this huge fort in the shape of a donut, a big concrete donut in the middle of a crater. And the dry moat is where the drummer boy walks around. And we've chased him. We've literally come out one side into the dry moat. We've heard the drums on the other side of the moat. We've gone round to where the sound's coming from, and it stops and appears on the other end of the moat. So we kept going round and round in circles. We've had people go either way around the donut, as we call it, and still nobody's seen it. And when we first heard it, we thought it was somebody nearby had been playing a set of drums, because there are a few houses nearby the location. But when you hear them at 1 o'clock in the morning, you don't. You have to rule out someone with a drum kit, because there are, there are houses next to it, and the last thing you do is upset your neighbours by playing a set of drums at 1 o'clock in the morning.
At 1 o'clock in the morning, yeah.
And so we followed these drums, and we're like, okay, that's really weird. I mean, the problem is with hearing bells. A lot of churches, especially in the UK, they have their bells set on a timer. And so a lot of bells would automatically go off on the hour every hour. And they put mufflers on them at night so they don't ring so loud. And I think that's why I love doing the investigating, is because of the fact that you look for the answers. And you can tend to find answers to a lot of the things that you hear simply by just looking around you. The environment around you will give you a lot of the answers. But it's when you can't get that answer, like with the drummer boy, that we're all shaking our heads and going, okay, that's not right.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
We hear a lot through our spirit box sessions. Is I hear bells, I hear REM pod beeps, but not disembodied bells. I don't think. No.
Well, remember when we went to the Queen Mary, and I was doing the SS method, and I heard a bomb sound.
Oh yeah,
It literally boom.
To death.
And the ship was used for military at one point, and it actually crashed. So that was quite interesting. I had an interesting experience, and to this day, I still don't understand. I went to an Asian restaurant to have dinner. There was a piano guy playing, but he was playing modern type, relaxing music. I went to sit down at the bench or the table, and all of a sudden in my right ear, I could hear 1800 music.
My ear just itched when you said that.
And I'm like, wait, what? I said, do you hear that? I said that to Marcus, my friend of mine. And he's like, hear what? I said, you're not hearing that. He goes, what do you mean? The piano? I'm like, no. It's not that kind of music. I said, it's like back in the 1800s. And I said, I'm hearing it in this ear. And I kind of was like, why am I hearing this? It kind of like, am I losing my mind? I literally thought I might have been losing it. Like, am I going crazy? Right. But it literally was like, sounded like 18. And it played for quite a while in only my right ear, not my left, just my right. And I thought that was really bizarre. Very bizarre. That was truly bizarre. But he wasn't, the piano guy was playing more modern type, music, not 1800s.
Yeah, it's weird.
That I thought was strange. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm having hearing issues. I start questioning, what I'm hearing. So that was bizarre.
The whole time you were there, it was happening?
No, it finally did stop. It did finally stop. But yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Like Wayne mentioned, and you mentioned about that drumming and the pianos as well. The piano. Can I ask, how do we feel about hereditary haunting from the point of view of is it also stone tape? Is it kind of there was a moat, and because there was a moat, Wayne heard drumming as if it was a drummer guy in the army. Are these? Do you feel that they're played out? That they're playing like in stone tape theory? That they're playing out, and this very moment we're not there, but they're still drumming, or do we have to be there for them to be heard? I know it's the tree in the forest business, but
no, I think it's true. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think that the stone tape theory is a very plausible answer because we've heard it. But the problem is when it becomes intelligent, it can't be stone tape theory.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you hear the noise, if you're standing in one position and you hear a noise somewhere, then you could say that's stone tape. But if you go to where that sound is coming from and it appears somewhere else, that can't be stone tape because it's moved.
Yeah.
And it's in a different position. And so obviously the idea behind that then is obviously the idea is to look for the answers. So you try different methods to find out where that sound is coming from or how that sound can be. And if every time you do a different experiment, it changes, then it's got to be an intelligent haunting rather than stone tape theory.
Yeah, yeah. Well, is it still intelligent if it's not necessarily interacting with you?
Well, and this is why they call it the stone tape theory. It's like an old VHS recorder. It records something that happens at that particular time, and then when the energy builds back up again, it replays it. So if that replay alters in any way, shape, or form, it stops becoming stone tape theory and becomes intelligent haunting. Because it's actually doing something different rather than replaying.
Yeah. Maybe emotions can be absorbed into inanimate objects can absorb these emotions which go on around it. But in that case, it's kind of like everywhere. There's not one part, and I think it's the same in the States. There's hardly any 1 meter of ground, 1 foot of ground, which hasn't had some point in time, some tragedy or drop of blood spilt on it. So, you know, that's why I always find it quite, if it was going to be intelligent, it's not just a case of if you moved, then I can understand the sound moving, Wayne, because if you moved, then it could be that the sound was reverberating off of a building that you had moved around, and maybe you thought it was moving, but it actually wasn't. Intelligent response would be when you asked it to stop drumming,
and it stops.
That would be cool.
I mean, the thing is with the drummer boy, there is only one way into the dry moat at this location. So to get out of that location, you have to come out the same way you came in.
Right.
So when you've got a group of people and you split them in half and you say to them, you go round that way and you go round the other way.
Yeah.
If there is a sound and it's going to move, it's going to pass one of the two groups.
Yeah.
Because it can't go over. So it has to go through us. And one of us would have, one of the groups would have seen it. But then when you sort of like stand there and scratch your head and go, hang on, that can't be right. It's now playing it on the other side. And you all run back to that same point and it stops altogether. And then you don't hear it again. And you might not hear it again for 2 or 3 other visits. It would still come under the stone tape theory because it is not doing what it does every time.
Yeah, it's a joker, isn't it? It's an absolute, whatever we're dealing with is a flipping joker. It's like it's playing with us. It's toying.
I mean, we were told it was a 12-year-old boy, the drummer. Was a 12-year-old drummer boy in the Napoleonic armies. So there could have been this sort of childish persona to this lad, although he would have taken his job seriously. If he was just in the dry moat practicing, he might have had a moment where he wanted to be silly. And if he is intelligent haunting, he might have decided to sort of have a bit of fun with us because we're there in the middle of the night, wandering around the dry moat, trying to find evidence of an afterlife. And he's thought, you know what? I think I'm going to have some fun with these guys. I'm going to run around in circles with them.
And they're going to chase us.
Yeah.
Here I am, me. Yeah. That's cool.
And the good thing is with spirits is they can just disappear at once. So maybe he may not necessarily have had to have come past us. He could have just disappeared there, walked past us without us seeing him, and then popped up the other side. So it is strange because, I mean, obviously stone tape theory relies on the amount of energy at the time to replay. But also spirits need the energy to replay or to do anything. So it all revolves around the energy. And I think the more haunted locations tend to be more where their ley lines cross. There's a lot more energy when there's a concentration of ley lines. You look at Rendlesham Forest in Suffolk, there's ley lines that crisscross all over Rendlesham Forest. And so that's why there are a lot of Druid and the Saxons sort of appeared around that area. There's been witchcraft in that area. And then back in the 80s, we had supposedly UFO phenomena there. and there are about 6 or 7 crossovers of ley lines.
Yeah, ley lines play a part. I think ley lines definitely do play a part. I mean, one in the southern part of England, there's 2 ley lines and they crisscross. The main straightest line is the William line, which runs up from Cornwall all the way up to Norfolk. But it takes in some amazing places. It takes in Glastonbury. It takes in Stonehenge. It also runs across. As you say, into Suffolk. It goes also as a place called Royston Caves. Very interesting place. When you go down into Royston Caves, and this ley line goes directly through the cave. And when you go down this cave, very famous, Google it. It's the carvings. Nobody can make head nor tail with the carvings, and nobody knows who carved these carvings in this cave. Nobody. And the ley line, the William line, runs straight through it. And at the same time, at these important places, these Stonehenges and the Glastonburys and the important places which it runs through, the William line, the Mary line sort of snakes around in like a figure of 8 around the William line, intersecting at key points, old burial mounds, places like that. And we often have cryptid sightings on burial mounds and places like that. So I think with the ghosts and the crypt, I think it's ley lines do play a part. You're quite right, they do. There is an energy there, which we as yet haven't really tapped into, and it goes on to things like places that disappear. Houses have disappeared. People have said they've seen houses, and the next minute they go past, they've disappeared. There's one notable one I know of in Suffolk, which is opposite the Polish War Memorial, and there was an account of I think it was a police officer or something and his wife, but they opposite the Polish War Memorial. It's a big, almost like a needle point of a monument goes up on the 1065 road.
Wow,
it's a country road, and just opposite they saw this mansion. Huge mansion, and they reported it, and I was like, they reported it because I hadn't seen it before, and I was like, oh wow, it's been built quick. Was that, and it looked really old. It looked really sort of dilapidated and old, and they couldn't quite figure it out. So I'm sure he was a police officer. When he went back to the station, he explained to his colleagues, and his colleagues said, oh, I've never seen that. Of all the times we've been driving around, never seen that. And when they went to investigate, just out of sheer nosiness, it wasn't there. And that was on the ley line, same line. So it is an odd thing, isn't it?
Actually, there's, I had heard, well, it was somebody that I work with runs the child train, but it's at Disneyland. And Walt Disney, when he bought that, he wanted it perfectly centered on a ley line. So that was how a lot of the Small World had a lot of haunted people behind certain things, and some people would see it and some people wouldn't. So, but he specifically wanted those ley lines to land exactly where it's at in Anaheim. So, yeah.
And when you look at it, you did dive back through history. When you look at the likes of Stonehenge, perfectly aligned stones with the stars, and the pyramids with perfectly aligned stars, they knew about ley lines way back then.
Yeah.
And it's something we don't really look at nowadays, apart from the likes of ourselves who know about ley lines and research into these things, because we're like, well, okay, we've got a haunted location here. Is it sitting on a ley line?
Yeah.
Because of the amount of activity, could a ley line be the cause of that activity? So you look it up. Yeah. But a lot of people just don't include ley lines in anything.
Yeah. Well, and Area 51, those are ley lines. So it definitely has something to do with the ground it's sitting on and whatnot too.
Yeah.
It does.
There's,
I've got
there's yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Daniel. Got
What I
Susan
hear is that,
Bruceman.
yeah, what Susan said.
I heard my son calling me in my home when I went in to see him. He was doing his exercise on bike. He was not calling me.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's exactly
right.
what we
Yes,
hear.
it happens. Got from Kate 10:30. I've heard bells, voices, and laughing, plus marching, and a train. Weird. I know the stuff that people hear is like crazy. It plays. It does play.
Phil, I'm just
look.
thinking. You're talking about voices and things. I've heard out of context noises like popping and rustling sounds that aren't anywhere. I get it a lot in my bedroom. Usually, like you say, when there's some activity around, and it'll wake me up because it's so weird, and it's like a pop, and it's like it's in the corner of the room, and it's always in the same, but it's like in the room. I've had a weird sort of rustling noises before now, and almost like a crisp packet rustling, but it's in my room, so it's not even like neighbors or anything, and it's woken me up. And I've also had like booming noises, as in like a dungeon door slamming shut. But I usually get that more when I'm doing healing work, or when we've had like say storms, and there'll be like electromagnetic energy, and as soon as it drops back down, it's almost like it pulls back down into a hole, and a door slams shut over the top of it.
Air pressure changes. No,
it is literally like a door shutting, banging shut, but it's like a dungeon door deep underground, booming shut. I can't really. That's
what does that sound like?
Yeah.
The noise.
Yeah, the metal. Like, well, too, because we were talking about it, where the portal that opens when you hear that slamming gate, the metal cement.
Because it sort of, that's why it coincides a little bit with my healing sometimes. If I shift something nasty and send it on, I'll get the booming sound afterwards, but not always. But I have also had it corresponding with sort of like electrical activity in weather patterns, and then it's almost like you get a psychic attack happening, and then as soon as that energy drops and pulls away, you can hear it sort of going, and a booming noise, or like a door slamming shut noise. But I don't associate it with like with you guys saying about like normal things like drumming and ghosts and noises. So the noises I'm hearing are like out of context ones, but I do assume, like you say, that it's usually something popping in or out, or passing. Once it's gone, it's like bang, shutting the door behind it type thing, and it's usually quite an aggressive sound as well. So it's sort of like slamming the door on the way out type thing. But I usually associate that with a psychic attack, or when I'm doing some healing very occasionally, rather than just being, like investigating or anything. So it's like that tends to be the kind of weird noises that I hear. But it's quite a strange phenomenon.
A lot of people get like when they're just coming out of the cusp of sleep, and they get like they're awakened by a massive big bang. I have on many occasions, and it's almost like someone's like, I was talking with Daniel about this before, weren't we? Where it sounds like someone almost driving a car into the side of the house. It's like a massive big bang, and it wakes you, and you kind of think, what the hell is that? It is a phenomenon, which happens. Psychologists believe it's in here, but who's to tell? I mean, we've been out in places, and I'm sure other people here have been out in places where they've heard a strange sound of like a metallic or a door sound closing, either in the woods or on locations sometimes.
Well, I know that also ends up being part of the whole cryptid thing. They hear it in the beginning, and something with cryptids will happen, and then they'll hear it again close, and everything is shut off after that. So it makes you wonder why all these military bases in the US are right next to portals. So
Yeah, which would account in a way why we see
And
all
between the
these
legs.
drones and UFOs around them.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess you could say what we hear is all significant, because when you said it has to be, when you said significant, I guess they're all considered significant for all of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking more like a loved one, hearing like a loved one calling me or something, but.
Well, what do we know about the paranormal? What's the one universal thing, and even really with cryptid as well, to a certain degree, because we find a lot of cryptids that kind of morph out and cloak and stuff, and it seems to there's one common denominator that happens when we are investigating. Have a guess. If you can guess what that common denominator is when we're out investigating, what happens? What happens to you guys when you're out investigating?
What brings us together?
Which one?
It brings us together. It brings people together, the living together, I guess.
Yeah, no. When you're out investigating and you're trying to document stuff, what happens? What's the one thing that happens?
Ask you something.
Equipment failure.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be a student now. I don't know the answer to the question.
Yeah, no. I don't know what. I don't know what he's thinking. Yeah, no. Equipment failure. We all seem to suffer. It doesn't matter what genre of the paranormal supernatural it is. We all seem to suffer with that. So that says to me, that screams out that is it because it's interfering with electricity? Is it electromagnetic? This what we're dealing with in essence? This entity that we're dealing with, is it get its energy? I had a little tiny story, and I remember many years ago, I was with a partner who had kids with. Anyway, it ended awfully. It was awful. But I remember waking up. I've said this story before, but I remember waking up wanting to go for a wee. Okay, so I went to the toilet, went for a wee, but I had a strong compulsion. I felt almost faint. Sometimes when I was younger, I used to puff a little bit. Okay. And after having a beer afterwards, I would kind of feel a bit faint and a bit almost like I was going to white out. You get that cold white sweat come over you, and you're like, and I felt like that. And I had to sit down on the toilet, and I just slumped and I fell asleep on the toilet. And it was this was I don't know, 2 a.m. My partner was in bed. She was asleep when I left her. I just got up to have a wee, but I just slumped on the toilet and just fell asleep. That was it. Gone. I don't know how long I was asleep for, but when I went back into the bedroom, she was propped up in bed, white as a sheet. And I said, "What on earth's the matter with you?" And she said, "There was a woman at the bottom of my bed talking to me." And I was like, "Sorry?" She said, "Yeah, it's an old woman talking to me." And we'd been hearing this bungalow had it was a council bungalow, so it was like a housing association type place. Okay. So it was small, it was only a 2-bedroom. We were just starting out as a couple, if you like. And she kept hearing footsteps coming down from the front door down the hallway because it was carpeted. And I poo-pooed it and said, no, it's got to be the heater, because we had a really horrible, tragically bad, inefficient heater in the hallway in a cupboard. And what it was filled full of fire bricks, and it had electric elements going through it. And during the day it would heat up, and then during the night you would turn a thermostat on and this fan would blow hot air through ducts into each room. It was a very transient form of heat. but you would hear the bricks heating up, and they'd make a clicking sound and a sort of a rubbing. You'd hear that rubbing sound, and I poo-pooed what she said. She said, "No, Phil, seriously, I could hear footsteps at night coming down the hallway from the front door." And I said, "That's got to be the bricks settling in the heater." So this went on for a good few months, and then I heard it, and it was footsteps. It was footsteps, and it was like shuffling, shuffling footsteps coming down the carpet. And I 100% believed that, and I apologized to her at the time. I said, "I'm so sorry, I doubted you." And the reason I didn't doubt her anymore was because it was spring, and the heater was off. We didn't charge it up during the day, and it didn't let out any heat at night. But I heard those footsteps shuffling as clear as anything. But the energy to manifest to my partner at the time, when she saw this old lady, used my energy because I passed out on the toilet. So it does have to use energy to manifest. So it needs us. Is that right or not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you tend to find that a lot of groups, when they go out investigating, even if it's a public event, you'll split up into teams and you all go off into different locations. In my experience, I've seen it near enough every investigation I've been on. People will go, use my energy. Or they'll build an energy portal where they'll all get round in a circle and provide this energy vortex for spirit to use. So a lot of the time, we literally ask it to take our energy. And then, of course, other times you will have it where it comes out of the equipment. And you could go in with fresh set of batteries. You go out, and within 10 minutes, the batteries have gone.
Mm-hmm. We just had that.
And you're like, straight back to your hub room. Out come the battery packs. More batteries.
Yeah.
You always take a supply of batteries with you, so you can almost guarantee that something is going to happen with an SB7, a K2 meter, or something is going to happen, and that will drain the energy.
Even LED lights.
Daniel Boone. Yeah. Daniel Boone. We were at the hotel. I checked all the video cameras, all the GoPros. Everything was good to go. We took it there, and as soon as we crossed into that line where the Daniel Boone starts, gone. All of them. 5 of the batteries, and then one of them said to record, insert an SD card. There was already one in there.
Yeah.
So we had to use our phones, and that was the only thing that we could use that was protected, that we wouldn't have these batteries just completely die. So
that's weird how they. I got that too. They don't touch my cell phone. They'll touch other devices.
Yeah, that's
really
the weirdest
weird
thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not to go backwards, but Phil, we were talking about ley lines, and I thought about it.
Really quick, you guys, I have to log off. I have another show I have to do. Thank you for having me on. Us on. I hope you guys everybody has a Merry Christmas.
You too.
Yep, no worries.
Oh, bye, Joy.
No, I don't, because you're going. I'm just gonna kind of, yeah.
I was like, what happened? I was like, I hear him and he kicked me off.
I put you off. I stunned you. I don't want to ruin your next show.
I was like,
yeah. No worries. Listen, thank you. I appreciate you coming on anyway, because I didn't expect you to come on.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. My answers were kind of like.
You're fine, Joey.
In the description on this, everyone on the studio, all their details are in the description on this. But Joey, let us know again what your any groups or your YouTube. Can you just tell us what it is?
So we're JJ Paranormal. We go on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Okay, cool.
And TikTok is JJ Paranormal 1, if anybody's interested. But.
Okay. All right, and lovely. Listen, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. You guys were all awesome. I'm sorry I have to get off, but thank you for inviting us on.
All right, no worries.
Bye,
That's all right.
Thank
All right,
you.
take care.
Bye.
All
Merry
right.
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye. Right. That's great. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Right. Oh, that's a bit better on the screen now. That's a bit better. I
A
can
little more
shuffle some
evened out.
people about now. All right. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's fine. All right. That's good. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Go on. Use it. Yeah. You were saying, yeah, with ley lines.
Yeah. I was just curious because I was wondering where Skinwalker Ranch is. It's on a ley line. So I didn't even think of that. And I thought that's why I was telling Lori. I'm like, can you look that up to see? And sure enough, it really is. It says not scientifically proven, but many theories and researchers speculate the Skinwalker Ranch in Utah is located on or near a convergence of ley lines. So that could explain a lot of what's going on out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an awful lot of energy anyway. When you think we've got ley lines, we know that. Okay. Yeah. But if, as we believe, there's in the center of the earth, there's a large ball of iron revolving at colossal speed. The earth is revolving opposite this iron ore orb, as I believe. And there is water and lava. There's oceans of water under the Earth's crust. They found oceans, absolute massive oceans. But we're actually also on top of a fusion reactor, if you like. In a way, it's a fusion sphere. So it's like a torsion sphere. That's the word, not fusion. Torsion. It's a torsion sphere. So when you've got you find these that was played about with the Germans during the Second World War, played about with the Die Glocken, the bell, if you like, which papers were found by his name was Sharma or Schwammer. Shamler, something like that. No, I'll look. It'll come to me.
Schimler, are you talking?
Yes.
Schimler.
Yeah. At the
Don't ask me why I know that.
It was a special project, super top secret. One of the most top secret personnel was actually a lady, and she was a mathematician. Operation Paperclip, they took a lot of those scientists across, but the bell design was with two revolving discs acting as a motor in this suspended in mercury, and they were revolving at a colossal speed, and it created its own environment, literally its own environment. Flowers nearby would wilt, plants would die, and it was capable, they believe, of transference of energy, this torsion field words, and it was able to actually go out of existence and reappear somewhere else. It was a time machine, they believed. There was another instance of a UFO seen in America which looked and had the same markings. Yes, that's right.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
There.
Roughly translated as the bell.
Yes, the bell.
Yeah.
That's it. The Glocken, yeah.
The actual experiment site for the Die Glocke is actually still in existence.
It is Poland.
Yep.
Yeah, it's in Poland, and there's pylons. When you Google it, there's these pylons, concrete pylons, about 8 or 9 of them. And there's no. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you,
So
Wayne.
the Glocke would have sat in the middle of that, But no one's actually managed to find the actual craft itself.
No.
Did it disappear then?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
They sort of turned it on and it just...
There's a lot of conspiracy theories around Die Glocke as to what actually happened with it.
Right.
And it falls into line with the conspiracy theory that the Nazis knew they were going to lose the war and they ended up in Antarctica. Hence why there is this wonderful interest in Antarctica.
Yeah.
And if you look at Antarctica itself, nobody officially owns Antarctica. There was an agreement between all nations that nobody owns it, but scientific teams go down there.
Yeah.
So they reckon Die Glocke ended up there.
Could you imagine putting all that effort into an experiment to have it disappear? Or did they move it there on
Maybe
purpose?
that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
If you go by the conspiracy theorists and their theory behind it, that because the Germans knew they were losing the war and Die Glocke was coming in too late to do anything, they moved it somewhere where it could become useful. But they obviously haven't, because history hasn't altered any.
Yeah.
And you would have thought if it was a time machine and it was working, they would have been able to have done something about it. But
yeah.
Wow.
So I think that's why it remains a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a sighting in the 1960s, I think, or 70s, of such a craft that looked identical to the Bell in the States. And it had quite odd markings on it as well. But that quickly got hushed up and it disappeared. So it's an odd thing. We had we have fields of energy which are at the moment altering the Earth's electromagnetic shields at the moment. So at the poles, they're actually getting wider. So that you see these photos where you see electromagnetic
longer angles.
Yeah, and they're but the poles are actually getting wider now at the moment. So I think we have an awful lot of energy. We're not being told half as much. I think the entities that we're dealing with need energy to manifest. We're pretty sure on that. For some reason, they also. One thing about ghosts I never quite got. If I dropped down dead, I would make sure that because I was so interested in the afterlife, I would want to pass on that information to someone else. I'd want to tell them. I'd want to tap on the shoulder and go, "Oi, mate, listen. It's not all fun and games over here, all right?
Dress cool, a little warm."
Everyone's sort of disbelieving me. I keep floating around. I keep tapping people, whispering them in their ear. I mean, with giggles, I whispered in her ear, and she was just laughing in hysterics, thinking she was going crazy. So it's this sort of thing which. Why is it? If these things are ghosts and if these things are us, in the past, everyone has had this fascination with what happens when we die. It's caused wars.
Yeah.
It's instigated religion. It's to a certain degree, because we all want to believe, whether we're atheist or not, we all want to believe there is something that we pass on. We carry on. I mean, the most frightening thing would be if we were to pass on and there was nothing. If there was absolutely a void, a black void of nothing, would that be more frightening than a ghost, do you think?
I think it'd be boring.
It'd be boring, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It would be boring. Yeah. Yeah. I need to sort of keep to grow, to morph into something else, to have a spirit that goes on. The need within us is really strong for that. And it makes me wonder, is that something which propagates what we see now? Are we kind of like, but then cameras do catch stuff. Let me show you something. I want to show you something. Like this happened in Chester Castle. Now, basically, there was a video camera of a CCTV camera. Now, this place was owned and managed by the British Heritage Association. Okay, it's not some ruin that's out in the middle of a field that any Herbert can go and put on a costume or mess around in and pretend to be something that they're not. It's an English heritage. It's locked up at night. It's CCTV'd. They look after their places. They charge a lot for entrance, but they do look after these old buildings, castles. You know, because we get like you have in the States, grade 2, grade 1, grade 3 listed buildings. A lot of them managed by in the UK English heritage. They saw it's quite recent this happened. They saw a ghost on CCTV. And this guy is from the English heritage. Okay. I was going to put it up and just want to see what you think of this, what your idea is of it. Let me just get this up here. Let's see if I got it up. Let's have a look. Aha, here we go.
From a motion activated camera. It wasn't CCTV as such. So the camera only operated when there was enough sort of mass to trigger it off, and that was in 10-second bursts. It was covering the gate you can see behind me. So that was to stop any intruders getting into the site, and trust me, those spear points on the gate rail that you can see there, nothing can get over those. If anybody had have broken in, if it was the local with his hoodie in, as a lot of people are saying it is, then I can assure you the camera would have actually activated when somebody was clambering over those gates. It didn't. It activated, you can see again, just over my shoulder just there, the 2 grid points, which again were where the figure was seen. It's there, or what may be a figure, and the figure is certainly translucent with no sort of bottom part as such. And there are other things around it which are, again, let's just say, well, interesting. So when the security guard was alerted, he came to the gate, as we've said in the article, and opening up, remember the dog wouldn't get out the van at that particular occasion. Nothing was found. He proceeded along and up the rampart towards the back of the castle, where there's the only other entrance in, and that's the 18th century sally port. The guard looked around, and then, according to the witness statement, he said to us, he felt that then there was 100 eyes bearing down on him. He said it wasn't a particularly pleasant experience. What it was, trick of the light, refraction of light, not too sure. Remember, the floodlights aren't on. It was gone midnight. There is no light in this place. It is pitch black. And that camera is infrared. The streaks you can see denote a light shower of rain, which was the weather on the occasion. The image.
Right. So, interesting thing I found on that was, one, there was no one else around. Now let's get this right. There you go. Get it a bit bigger. There was nobody else around for it to take energy from. Secondly, the dogs wouldn't get out of the wagon. All right. That often happens. Animal scent stuff. But it was the scopocepia. It was the fact of knowing or sensing that there was 100 eyes looking at that security guard. Have you ever been in a place where you felt really felt like you were being watched?
Recently, in the Daniel Boone, we felt like we were being guarded, not guarded, but ushered in to the forest and then ushered out. You know, you kind of go past that boundary, and once you get past that boundary, everything seems to just kind of level out, where it's not, the energy is not as high as it would be inside that forest. There's something going on there. There's definitely. It's weird. There's nobody there, but everybody's watching you. And it could be the cryptids too. Maybe we're just only getting that as our sixth sense. But yeah, no, what recently, yeah, scary.
It is. Have you ever felt like you've been watched, Cindy?
Yeah. When we went with Joy and Joey to Old Town San Diego, we were walking past by or coming up upon the Whaley house, and it's the night. There's nobody out on the street and everything. And I saw, but I also felt a very strong negative presence on the corner of the property before you get to the actual house. There was a man, had an old Western hat on. He had a very rough, he was dirty, very rough beard looking, and old time clothes. And he was trying to pull people to the backyard of the Whaley house. And I told everyone, do not go back there. And he watched us the whole entire way until we got past a certain point of the Whaley house. But I was like, come on, you guys, he's watching. Come on. He doesn't, let's not go back there. Do not go back there. Come on. And they're like, Joy's like, but I want to go see it. I'm like, no, not right now. Let's just go. And I kept telling them, don't do it. And I watched him watch us. So that freaked me out. That really freaked me out.
Yeah. Sin, have you ever felt being watched?
Often, several locations. But the thing that bothered me the most was when I was very young in my home, I couldn't change clothes in my own bedroom. I had to turn all of my dolls and stuffed animals around so their eyes weren't facing. Something was attached to something. I to this day, I don't know which one it was attached to. I don't have them anymore.
Do you still feel it?
No, I got rid of the ones that freaked me out. So, but something was attached to one of the ones I had. I had a doll collection. I had stuffed animals from everywhere, and people would actually bring me dolls from when they go on trips. So some of them, I have no idea where they came from, really. But yeah, I could not change clothes in my own bedroom. And that was until I was a teenager.
Right.
Do you find that with toys? I find that with toys, sometimes like they'll be all right, and then all of a sudden they won't be. And it's like, you'll be like, I've had that on my bed for at the bottom of my bed, when you're younger. And you're like, for years, and all of a sudden you don't want to see it anymore. And it feels like it's watching, like something about it's changed. Because it's like, they don't always start off being freaky, but some of them are right from the get-go. But some of them, it's like, I've had to get rid of stuff that I've had for years, because all of a sudden it's like the vibe changes, and it's like you say, it's looking at you funny.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird. You're just like, you feel uneasy in your room, and I get to the point now where I start looking around for whatever it is that's changed its vibes, so that I can get rid of it. And it'll be sometimes silly little things like a symbol or something. And the second that's in the bin or gone, it's that everything's changed. But I did used to find out with my toys. It's like some of them every so often would just go sinister. Mm-hmm. And it's like sometimes they'd stay that way, and then sometimes it would pass. It's like, so I'm glad it's not just me.
My mother and grandmother and several different relatives and myself collect antiques. And sometimes when you bring something home from an antique store, even a yard sale, something can be attached. We had this one residential that we had to go to, and the only thing that we found that was causing all the hoopla was a child stuffed animal, and it no batteries in this thing. It was a stuffed animal, but it was causing the REM pod. It was causing EMF, all kinds of the meters to go off. And we asked finally, where did this come from? Oh, my granddaughter had to have that when we went to a yard sale about 6 months ago. And is that when things started really ramping up? Oh, yeah, that's exactly when it did. And they had no idea the story behind the animal, but it was like a big stuffed rabbit, so sweet looking, but something was attached, and we ended up getting rid of it. You just never know.
No.
Why does it always happen to things like dolls and kind of like it has to be something which has eyes and legs and is
dolls.
kind of
Their mind.
Dolls
yeah.
are in the very.
Why don't they happen to books? I never hear of any haunted books.
No,
I've had stuff jump out of books at me before. Now, I've had books with things in them. It was a book written by a I can't remember the name of it. I've still got it somewhere. But it was a book written by an occult exorcist. And before I even opened it, there was like scorpions in it. Not literal scorpions, but like psychic ones. Because whenever a bit like you, whenever I buy secondhand books, I always try and clear them before I touch them. And this particular book had like things in it, and it was an occult exorcist as well. So I don't know whoever it was that had the book, whether it came with the book, it just happened to be in the environment it was in. But so it's not these things with eyes, to be fair. It's like, just to gainsay you a minute. But yeah, so I'm very careful with any secondhand stuff now, to be honest. After that,
furniture, anything.
Yeah. But I know I haven't really. Go on, Daniel.
I think with dolls, it's because of their close proximity to humans that makes it a lot easier for spirit to attach to.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
In the very beginning, dolls were actually made to house the souls of.
Yeah.
So it started in ancient Egyptian, if not before times.
Yep.
They would have a doll figure buried with the person, and that soul was supposedly going in. A lot of them, like the terracotta warriors, those were the emperor's people that were supposed to protect him, and those souls were supposedly going into those figures. The same thing with Victorian times. They would put a doll next to a casket, hoping that the soul of the person, after they were done completely with the wake, it would go into that doll. They'd take the doll home, put it in a very prominent place, like a mantle or on a very comfy bed in the guest room. And that doll, that would be that doll's room. And hopefully that person's soul would be there and stay with them.
It's their vessel.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have vessel there. It's these vessels. And I treat them with most respect. I say, good morning, ladies. Good night, ladies. Have a good night, Esmeralda, because Esmeralda is a woman of the night. She doesn't care for men. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the history that was given to me by her. But yeah, it's their vessel. I used to be afraid of dolls, but not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah, until I get that phone call in the middle of the night. I was at CryptidCon and talking to John Zaffis.
Yeah.
And he's got that haunted museum. Between you and Matt Rife buying the Conjuring house, it's like, I'm going to get that phone call in the middle of the night. Say, I need John's number. I need this one. Somebody take this from me. So, really nice guy, though. Really nice guy.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, with a tulpa, it's. I always, kind of thought that with a tulpa, it's one single person that, like, kind of creates an effigy, an entity using bits of human hair. They might use bits of the person's clothing, and they will give it a back. So they will almost create a backstory. They'll create a person as near as damn it, and there's been accounts where that tulpa has sprung into life, has created its own life. And then you've got the egregores as well. They're an interesting thing. With egregores, they're kind of like a group generated entity, which I find extremely interesting. The capability of a group creating an entity and a backstory and a family for it and a history for it and a full name for it. Because I was always told with ghosts and that, or if there's an entity and you don't know quite what it is, worst thing you can possibly do is give a name to it. I don't know how right that is.
That's interesting. Because the house that I just moved out of, Phil, I've been on your show before, and I talked about the experiences that I was having in the home. And I mentioned that I had a gentleman, I called him Albert. I gave him a name, and he was very negative, and he would threaten to, over EVP sessions, to scratch, to bite me, and so forth. And I always felt him on my side of the bed. And ever since I moved out of that house and in my own place now, I feel more relaxed, more relief. I feel happy. I'm not feeling so depressed. And because it was so much negativity in that home. Daniel, I've talked to you about that house. I've talked about it even on my own shows, my own podcast. The bad entity that was there, but I did give him a name. I called him Albert. And he was just, I never felt comfortable in that room because of him.
It's probably with the identity that you give them, that maybe it's in the energy that it feels that way, and then you give it a name and it's like, oh, I'm this person, and just like tulpas, like you were saying, same thing. So
because giving them a name either gives them an identity, but your intention behind the name as well. So sometimes knowing something's name can diminish it, a bit like with the spirits and that. Knowing the name means that you can pass them on, or it diminishes them or makes them more familiar, therefore you're not scared of them. Or giving them the name because your name has a particular sort of like association with it. Like you say, Albert is the bad one that makes me feel uncomfortable, so every time you think Albert you think of the discomfort. So it kind of goes both ways, I think, to be honest, like from the sounds of it, depending upon what but we do also seem to end up giving them names, and it's whether it's their name or not. It is funny how you automatically you name things, don't you? It's
like a familiar type of.
You can't help yourself. If you know something's there, you tend to start naming it, even if you don't want to, even if you just call it them. It's a strange phenomenon, really. Does it want the name, or is it a human thing that we need to name, or like you say, is the name power over, or is it giving it power? I don't know. It's quite an interesting idea, really, isn't it? It's like depending on the context.
That is interesting.
Why is it so many children ghosts are named Mary or Sarah?
Yeah,
that is a good question, right?
Mary and
Sarah. Yeah, interesting.
It's a popular role name.
Yes.
Yeah. Like the John Smith. Or does it come back to what Phil was saying about something mimicking, and that's like perhaps the name that particular entity uses. It's sort of because it is the most common one. That's like, it's like, I'm going to call myself Mary. Is it a ghost child, or is it something pretending to be? Because you get a lot of stories about that, don't you? About certain entities tend to masquerade as children to start off with.
Yeah.
But but no, I have to keep an eye out for that, Marion.
I experienced something at East Drive back in August. We were doing an experiment for a psychology paper. It was a parapsychology paper that the person that was running this thing for. And we had to do a series of experiments. And there was myself and 5 other people. So there was only 6 of us in the entire building. 2 of the people that were actually writing the paper that we were doing the experiments for. There was Cole Hutchison, who's been on Ghost Adventurers and various other TV shows. Nick Stepani, who, again, has been on, I think it's Des Black's Ghost Hunt and a couple of other ghosty programs and ITV and things. And we've been doing various experiments throughout the night. Now, one particular room, the master bedroom, had got a dressing table with a mirror on it. And either side of the mirror was dolls. And every single one of them had a tag on them. And it would explain what their name was, who gave them to the house, and a little bit about the personality of the spirit that's supposed to be within this doll. And this one particular doll hadn't got a name. There was no name to it as well either. It literally just came up on the label. I don't have a name, but I have a tendency to scratch people. Right. Now, earlier on in the investigation, myself, my friend Nick Stepani, and one of the people that was running the experiment was in that room. And as we're calling the spirits forward and we're asking the spirits, could they move something? Could they make a sound? Nick had all of a sudden got something rushed past him and scratched his eye, just underneath his left eye. And his reaction was to go backwards on the bed. He literally flew backwards. And he was like, "Oh, did you have to do that, you pig?" And really sort of got quite agitated by what had happened. I then later on went back in that room on my own. I did a live feed on TikTok. And I'm looking at all the labels on there. And I came across the one that said, "I have no name, but I have a tendency to scratch people." So I, quick as anything, I've run downstairs. I've told Nick. Nick's come back upstairs with me into that room. And my partner was at home. And I asked her to have a look and see if there was any particular company that made this specific doll. And she'd done the little research and found that it was made by a company as part of the Leonardo collection. And she gave me the name. As soon as I said the name, the whole atmosphere in the room changed. Everything just completely altered. And it was almost as if there was like a relief that after all this time, this doll's name has finally been discovered. And it had gone from a negative feel to a positive feel.
Yeah.
And part of us was saying, well, you know, have we just, in a way, devalued the haunted aspect of 30 East Drive? You know, from being one of the most haunted houses in the UK to not being one of the most haunted houses, because now this doll doesn't scratch anybody. And I've spoken to people that have been there since, and they've said that particular doll, to start off with, that particular doll has done nothing. There's been no energy there or anything. To the doll is not there anymore. It's gone.
Really?
Wow.
So we're not too sure whether it's disappeared on its own or whether the caretaker who lives next door has removed it from the house.
Huh. Interesting.
Because there's a lot of, you know, is 30 East Drive real? You know, there's a lot, because it was centered around a film when the lights went out, which is based on true events. The film wasn't actually made at that particular house, but the stories were there. We didn't come across any weird dark monk or anything like that. It was just the air and the atmosphere of it. And the fact that these dolls were really eerie looking. They were quite old. I think the youngest one I believe, was made in the 50s.
Wow.
So it was about 70 odd years old, this doll. The rest of them were older. And some of them were really, really creepy. I mean, one of them I could only describe as a slender person. Really, really long arms, really, really long legs, and a long neck. And I'm like, they really haven't got the proportions right on this doll. It didn't look right. And it looked so creepy. I ended up putting it in the wardrobe. Because I did not like it. So I put it in the wardrobe and shut the door.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think, again, when we look at the energy side of things, if you give spirit enough energy, it will take it.
Yeah.
And when it's bottled up in something like a doll, it's able to store that energy, especially if you walk into the location and go, I give my energy freely. And when we look at that, I've said it on a number of shows before, but a lightning bolt is 1 billion volts of electricity. Okay. The human cell generates 0.07 volts of electricity. And on average, we have 37.5 trillion cells in the human body. So when you do the math, that's 2.625 trillion volts of electricity in the human body. It just needs something to activate it. So we say to ourselves, well, what happens to us when our physical goes? That 2.625 trillion volts of electricity has got to go where? It's got to be released and go somewhere. And it's like any form of energy. You get a piece of wood that's got loads of energy stored in it. When you set it on fire, that energy gets transferred into other forms, heat and light. So it would be constant. And so that energy would then pass on.
So my theory is this. I do believe that spirits do use our energy. Absolutely. They'll use the energy from batteries. But they'll also appear if they want to. They can be around you, but not want to be known that they're around you. They'll use your energy if they want to use your energy. And there are probably more spirits around us on a daily basis that we just don't know because we're not going to tune into it, or people that choose to not want to tune into it. For me, it's slightly different, but I do feel that if they want to be known that they're there, they're going to show it. They're going to use the energy. They're going to use the energy from equipment or whatever the case might be. Some are very powerful. Some are a lot stronger than the others that have to use the energy from the batteries or from ourselves. They already have enough energy to come and go as they please or show if they want to be seen. That's my theory, my belief. But yeah, I mean, that's why when I am on investigations, I treat them with respect. I don't antagonize. I don't ask questions to make them mad. They've already been through enough from the way that they might have died or whatever had happened, and some are just trying to communicate. They're just trying to get our attention, and say hi. Some are not good, unfortunately. But it's also how we react. And that's why, when I talk to people, I try, because I used to be scared. I didn't understand. Once I started educating and getting a better understanding, then it's like I'm not so afraid. Do I get a little nervous? Yeah. Does my stomach kind of go, ooh, something? Yes. But then I'm like, okay, just move on, just leave them alone. But that's me. I can't speak for others. So.
But the thing is that if you look at spirit, they're not that dissimilar to us. And if they need energy, they're the same as us. We need energy to do anything.
Right.
We wake up in the morning, we feel groggy, we need a drink, like a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a fruit juice or something, some breakfast, and that gets us going throughout the day. And in the spirit world, that would be no different. We would need the energy, so why wouldn't they?
Right.
They're no different to us. It's just they haven't got the physical.
Right.
Yeah, so they just need ghost coffee, don't they? We need to figure out ghost coffee for them.
Yeah.
It's
Gotta
like
be
the
some
ghost
strong
coffee.
I
stuff.
love
Bring
it.
that back to life.
Yeah.
Just a nice cup of Nest Ghosty. Nest
Yeah.
Ghosty in the morning, that'll be fine.
Perhaps instead
I'm
of draining our
curious.
batteries, we should just leave them cups of coffee out and see if that
Yeah.
works.
Leave us alone. Let us sleep in. You can use a coffee machine. Just out of
A
curiosity.
nice bowl of Spookovics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody
That's funny.
known anything that has like lightning, like you had said, Wayne, with the lightning?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they manipulate that energy and flourish and have more? Has anybody heard of that, where it would end up using that lightning? And
But again, the theory behind that is the same as with ley lines. If there's energy there, spirit will use it.
yeah,
I mean, I was on a location not a year before last. An amazing place, had been left to overgrow since the end of World War II. And we were walking around the location, gun emplacements, observation towers. And we were up at the highest point and we spotted 6 individual thunderstorms. But we thought they were all going in one direction. But over the course of 2 hours, we discovered they weren't. They were all heading straight towards us from all different directions.
Is that the place I went to?
The Beacon Hill Fort in Harwich.
Yeah. Brilliant. I love because I'm very naughty. I am, Wayne. I tend to go out with groups, but then I drift off on my own. And
Yes, you do, don't you, Bill?
I know. And I went into the tunnels, and that was like, but we had a fascinating place. Fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, we were filming for Truth Beyond Paranormal, and I'd said to everybody, look, we've got 6 storms. They all seem to be coming towards us. We've got to be careful because along with those storms is lightning and heavy rain. And as the time progressed, the storms got closer and closer still. Then it started to rain. And we said, right, the tunnels are out of bounds because they could flood. And we'll get wet anyway, so we'll rule them out. The rain then got too heavy. All 6 thunderstorms had turned into one big thunderstorm and was all coming down on us. So I said, right, in interest of health and safety, I'm pulling the plug. We're going to go. We'll have to come back another time. So we got all the equipment. We packed it all in the car. We got to the gate, and one of the producers went out to unlock the gate so we could get through. Just as the gate was locked behind me and he got in the car, a bolt of lightning came down right in front of the car.
Wow.
It was literally inches away from the front of the bonnet. And I went, I'm glad I've called it quits here tonight.
Yeah.
And drove off. Now, this has then set the question off between all of us within the team. What if we had have stayed? With that bolt of lightning and those thunderstorms surrounding us like that, would the amount of energy been sufficient enough to kickstart all that activity?
Yeah.
But the question has been that, and ever since we've been back, there's been activity every time we've been there, in one form or another.
I must admit that when I was down the tunnels, I did pick up on I got on thermal. I got a figure because there was a lovely lady that I interviewed at the time, that redhead lady, that young lady,
Chloe, yes,
yeah, Chloe. Yeah, I interviewed her, and I got the videos on my library. And she said to me, she said, I think I'm short as her. She said, oh, you going down the tunnels, Phil? I was like, yeah, I'm actually, yeah, it's all right. Can I come with you? And I said, yeah, sure you can. You know, I was down there, and I know she was behind me, and I was like with the thermal, and I saw a figure. I caught it running through the tunnel there, Wayne. Actually running, this figure, proper figure running through a tunnel.
Well, them tunnels are very active. Probably the most active area is the main one where we have the normal hub route. While we were there filming, that same person, Chloe, she had got various feelings. Her pulse started racing. She started feeling hot. She was short of breath. And I said, right, we're going to have to bring you out of this area now, because whatever it is you're feeling, you can't be down here. So we pulled her out. We took her back to the hub room, and she sat down for a little while. Her pulse rate came down. She started feeling a lot better. The heat had gone. So we went back in again. And within seconds of walking back in the place, she started feeling hot again, short of breath. Her pulse started racing. So we said, no, that's it. We're stopping now. You're coming out altogether. You're not coming back in. When we'd finished filming, we all packed up. We got in the car, and on the way home, she started looking on her phone for any information that could be related to that location. And she found that there was a young guy. I think he worked in a Chinese restaurant or somewhere of them means. He had left his flat with a bottle of white spirits and disappeared, and no one knew where he'd gone. Only after a while, some children were playing in that particular area and thought they'd come across a mannequin dummy. And they were playing about with this mannequin dummy until they chopped one of the legs off, and they discovered it wasn't a mannequin dummy.
Heard of that before too.
So the police got called. The police came along and discovered, yes, it was a real human body, child remains, and they discovered that it was this guy that went missing. And he'd left his flat with a bottle of white spirits, and they were claiming that what had happened was he went to make a fire, and he used the white spirit to use as an accelerant for the fire, and it went on him, and he caught fire himself. So all the feelings that Chloe was getting were the feelings that he was getting as he was going.
Wow.
It passed over to her twice on a trot. And she said, I don't feel sure I could go back down in that room again.
Yeah.
And it's finding that information out. So I never like finding out any information about a location before I get there. I always like to do the research afterwards and compare it to the notes that we've got. So in that way, it makes it more credential. It's more evidence then. If you just turn around and go, oh, well, there was a guy that killed himself down there, and you tell everybody else, power of suggestion takes over, and everybody else is going to go, oh, I feel really hot down here, like that bloke that burnt to death here.
Yeah.
So it's weird how energy can shift like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'd be manipulated in certain ways to have a physical feeling to something that's related to whatever the burning up and whatnot. So wow. Yeah. That's interesting.
So
excuse me.
Going back, one thing that's been bugging me for a little while has been Sin mentioned about the dolls and about tulpas, which is a valid fact why dolls could be haunted and have the essence of a person. Now, have people got kids in the studio? I'm sure people at home have got kids. You've got kids, a lot of people have. I had, I've got kids, but more of a sperm donor really. I didn't have the chance to bring them up because they were sort of, I had an awful sort of separation and stuff. So, but it was when I was a kid, I had an imaginary friend, and my imaginary friend was called Danny. And he was absolutely real. Now, a little plug, all right, for myself. I'm going to be, because it is Christmas, I'm going to do a little plug for myself. My book, which I've just finished, I feature a chapter about Danny because I think it warrants it. He was real to me at the time, absolutely 100% real. and I still have him. I still have him at the moment. And it makes me wonder. As parents, we often, a lot of times, or even observers of children, we often, or ourselves even, have imaginary friends because our imagination runs wild. But we never question the child. We never really poo-poo the child. We let it be. We let it run its course. Is that something that you think is healthy to do, or do you think we should treat it as being a tulpa?
I think you should allow your children to express how it makes them feel. I feel that we, when I was growing up and I was telling my mom what I was seeing, she's like, "Oh, honey, you're just dreaming. It's, it's nothing. It's just a dream." No, it felt so real to me. Absolutely real. Like there was, clear as day. And I ended up, as I got older, as I said, I got more experiences and seeing things and experiencing things. And even if it's a child that has a pretend friend, just treat it as it's real. But make sure you tell your child it's okay to express. What is it saying? How, okay, whatever, but keep an eye on your child, and so, because so many children are taught, it's just in your head, it's just your dreams, whatever. And I suppressed for a very long time. And now that I'm older, I'm in my 50s, I don't give a flying beep, anymore. So I'm letting it out. So I that's just me. I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, and my grandchildren, my oldest grandchild has experienced, things. And I told him it's okay. Talk about it. We should never tell our children to not talk about things. We should always encourage our children to communicate. It's very important. We want our kids to be able to come to me and feel comfortable coming to us and not, no, no, don't do that.
My parents being Christian and then me having this with my grandmother, you can see where you can go to grandma with anything. You get trust issues if you say something to your parents. So you got to have that open line of communication.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
So many cool things we got over today. Oh, gosh.
I think the thing with imaginary friends is like you said about the impact on the child. Because some imaginary friends are imaginary and some aren't. So it's sort of like if you've got an imaginary friend that's not having a positive impact on the child, then it is something to be mindful of. Because like you said, some of these things actually are there. And if you don't believe them, I suppose the problem is if you're a parent and you don't know what to do about it, you don't want to scare the child, so you don't want to feed into it. But at the same time, what do you do if it is something having a negative impact? It is, it's sort of not quite that straightforward, is it? Because, some kids, they're very detailed about their imaginary friends as well. There's some of the details. And the other thing of imaginary friends is they're not always like people, are they? It's like, a kid's imaginary friend's not necessarily a human either.
No, mine's not human, no.
Yeah.
But this is now bringing up the theory that is it possible that because children are more open-minded than adults, that the children are not talking to imaginary friends, they're actually talking to spirits that are present in the area at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I say, my first experience was my granddad, and I was only 6. But that ability to speak to my grandfather disappeared.
Wow.
So, is it because of adulthood?
I was 8.
Yeah.
And everyone at the beginning of the program, Wayne, I asked, about what started it off. And everyone on this studio were talking, except for Natalie.
I was going to say.
Yeah, except for Natalie, but everyone had early relatively early experiences in their life when they were children. So why is it that we often have these experiences as children? And it kind of like, as we get old and knackered like myself, it kind of like peters off, or it falls into a more of a sedate state. It's not as wild and frantic that as it was when I was 8 years old, and I saw the entity I saw.
I think a lot of it is, as a child, you're open-minded. Then you start education and you're told ways to think. You're told how to do math, how to write, how to spell. You're guided in one direction. And all of these original thoughts that you would have had, like your imaginary friends or spirits, tend to be pushed out. And sometimes, and I don't like saying it, but sometimes religion can push that out as well. And unfortunately, I was pushed down that road. After my grandfather had passed, my nan demanded that myself and my sister went to church every Sunday. And you were told, and particularly in that church, you were told there are no such thing as ghosts. And I got into trouble at school because we did a book project. And
except the Holy Ghost.
I was left with the Bible. And the teachers turned around and said, go and pick another book from the library. And I thought, no, I'm going to call your bluff. I'm going to do my reading of this, and I'm going to write my essay afterwards. And I did. During the Easter holidays, I read the Bible from beginning to end, and I wrote a 15-page essay on my opinion of the Bible and what it's all about. And I got suspended from school.
Really?
Because the headmaster was very Christian indeed, devout Christian, almost, I would have said Roman Catholic devout. And he didn't like the fact that I didn't believe in Adam and Eve. I believe that the Garden of Eden did exist, but not where the Bible says it was. Why isn't there a mention of dinosaurs? There's not enough water on the earth to flood everywhere. And if so, where did Noah get all these animals that only live on certain continents on an ark that was the size of a normal cruise ship? All these things as a 10-year-old did not make sense to me.
That's impressive. You read the Bible start to finish over the Easter holidays.
My grand
2 years to read the damn thing, and I only finished it like 3 months ago. It was a slog. It was a slog. How did you do it?
Right, I have autism. And I can read a book very quickly, and I can soak up the information like a sponge.
Yeah.
And my granddad taught me to read and write when I was 4 years old.
Nice.
And this was before he passed. And I didn't do anything during the Easter holidays. All I did was read the book.
No.
I love reading. And so, of course, I got into trouble because of this. My mother got called into the school where he told her off. Why have you taught him this way of thinking? And she turned around and said, that's not my way of thinking. That's his way of thinking. And that's his beliefs. You should not be suspending him from school because he doesn't believe what that book teaches you.
Right.
And so, of course, when it still reverberates through me today when people turn around and say, I don't believe in ghosts. My answer to that is, but do you believe in God? And when they say yes, I go, hypocrisy. Straight away. Because 365 times in the Bible, Old and New Testament, it is mentioned either the Holy Ghost, the enlightened ones, Holy Spirit or ghost.
Yeah. Well, Jesus was construed as a ghost,
Yeah. So
in Matthew 14:26. Wayne, Matthew 14:26. The Jews called spirits Shido. And when Jesus was walking on water, they perceived him as being a ghost. And in the Bible, it said that Jesus said to them, I'm not a ghost. Touch my feet, touch my hands. Matthew 14:26.
Yeah.
Because it's just a perception of
Yes.
at that time,
So, of course, but that caused a lot of trouble, and I got suspended for 3 days for it. And my mum, they were like, "Oh, he's got to stay in. Don't let him do this. Don't let him do that." And my mum turned around and said, "No, he can do what he likes. You're the one that suspended him for his opinion."
Yeah.
And that was it. And so I've kept that. But when you look at that and you go, right, well, okay, so a lot of outside factors and religion stop that open-mindedness. And then when you get older, depending on how your course of life goes, and for most of us, we're all looking at the paranormal or the spiritual side of things, our minds have become more open again.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're able to bring back the ability that we had as children.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get older and it comes to that time when our physical's ready to go, we're more accepting of what's coming because we understand it a bit more.
Yes.
Like we say with the question, what happens after the physical? We're more at ease because we feel that our energy that makes our physical is going to move on to something else.
Well,
So
I'm
we're
going to
more
come
at
back
ease.
and I'm going to haunt people. That's what I'm
Yeah.
You're
already Michael giggles.
That's why I tell my kids all the time. When I'm dead, y'all are going to suffer because I'm going to come back and haunt y'all.
Piss me off.
Yeah,
put me through heck and back. I'm going to put you through heck and back.
Sorry, Phil.
There.
Yeah.
Phil, I need to come off now because I've got to take my mother-in-law home.
Yes, of course, mate. No, don't fall foul of mother-in-law. For goodness sake. Oh no, Wayne, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Wayne,
I appreciate
great
it.
speaking to you.
You're welcome.
Nice
It's been
meeting you, Wayne.
a very, very great chat tonight.
Yeah. And I need to go as well.
Thank you.
I need to get myself ready for the week and make dinner. Because I go to bed very, very early now because I get up so early for work.
No worries, mate. No worries. No, I appreciate you guys coming on. Really, I do.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's been
Thank you for inviting me.
No, you're more than welcome. I shall see you anyway tomorrow, Wayne.
Will you?
I think so.
Yes, you are seeing him tomorrow.
Oh, yes, you will.
Natalie,
sorry,
Natalie
I'm doing so much. I keep forgetting what I'm doing from one day to the next. I need people to remind me.
Natalie and myself are coming on the
Dark Mirror.
Mark Manley show. Yeah.
The Dark Mirror Radio. It's not Mark Manley's show. It's the Dark Mirror Radio show, hosted by myself, and Mark.
He's blinking always on it. He's always hogging it.
Yeah,
I just hogging it.
Yeah, I just let him talk, and majority of the time it's usually 3-Eye Atlas and conspiracy theories. But we're looking at changing things in the new year. We're going to be trying different things, but yeah, it's going to be.
It's a great show. What you talk about is a great show. I listen to it. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
night's the Christmas quiz, so it's going to be all Mark. It will be all Mark again tomorrow because he's going to be the questionnaire.
It's going to be all Mark. I'm going to put earmuffs on if it's all Mark.
Yep.
I tell you.
He's the quiz master tomorrow, so that's down to him. I'm just one of the contestants with everybody else.
Blimey, Riley. Yeah. See, I have a problem with quizzes. It's the answers I don't get.
I was going to say, we're going to be awful because I'm really bad at split second thinking like that. I need to analyse things, go away, think about them, come back again.
I know. Do you know, I heard a post. Mark can't help himself. Right? He came on. I saw a post of his. He said, yes. He said, and do you know, he said, I think I'm going to do the quiz and it's going to be 15 seconds. No, wait a minute. I'm going to do 10 seconds. They're going to have 10 seconds to answer the question. I'm looking. I'm like, what?
Yeah, because
so you don't get a chance to Google it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, blimey, Natalie.
It will I'm sort of, part of me wonders whether he's going to ask what colour socks is he wearing.
I have no idea.
You
It's
know?
like I have no pop culture knowledge at all or anything like that.
No.
If it's like Mary said she's no good at quizzes either. So there's
Who is, sorry?
Have a wonderful evening.
Oh,
and
Right,
I
take care,
will see you soon.
Cindy. I
See you
appreciate
later.
it. All right.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Right, bye-bye, everybody. Have
Right,
a Merry
see
Christmas
you.
and a great New Year.
Okay.
See
Wayne,
you
take care.
tomorrow.
Merry Christmas.
Phil and
I'll
Natalie,
speak to
see you tomorrow.
See you.
All right, mate.
Indeedy.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay, cool. All
Well,
right.
it
It's us.
was just
It's
the
us.
4 of us.
I just got one little
Five.
question. Being with children, okay, children see a lot more of this stuff going on. Do you think it could be a case that they're because their heads are not formed properly for quite a while until I believe they're about 14, 15. Their heads are not actually molded together. Their skulls.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Now,
fusion.
that's right. Cranial fusion. Yeah. It fuses. Yeah, that is right. When it fuses. Do you think that has something to play in it? Now I ask why. Oh wow! Look at the Chihuahua.
Yeah. He got tired of being out there, but he's not doing real great. So.
Oh, and he. Oh, bless.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I and that's the thing with those elongated skulls too.
Yeah. Could be that. It could be the elongated skulls. But there is such a thing as trepanation, where people do like kind of drill a hole in the skull.
Oh yeah.
And they believe it helps. It helps them, and when they have released the pressure in their skull, it actually helps them. There's a famous lady, Fielding, I think her name is. Let me just double check. So I'm not talking absolute crap. Trepanation, archaeological evidence dating back to at least 7,000, 10,000 years of people performing this. It became a ritual. And the people who performed it were almost like very spiritual people, used to perform it.
Well, they used to do. Yeah.
Sorry, Daniel. Carry on.
No, that's right.
I was going to say, I thought it was associated with shamanic practices, wasn't it? The trepanation, so that they could exit through the top of the head.
Yeah.
Yes.
I might be wrong, but
it was also people that had this done also said that they would see their third eye would open up, if you like.
Oh yeah, pineal gland.
Yeah, the pineal gland. It would open up. The pressure would release, and their pineal gland. And I think it was outlawed. It was banned for a period of time in Western society for quite considerable time. Yeah. And then it had a resurgence, and there was I'll get it. There was a resurgence. I said Dutch librarian Bart Hughes, and also a British artist Amanda Fielding, both advocates for the practice to increase blood flow to the brain, which they anecdotally claim leads to a permanent higher state of consciousness.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, children often see things. Children often, and their skulls are not formed. It could be that as we get older, and you get old and knackered like myself, everything's fused.
Yeah. There's no way for any circulation to make it. But they've also found they've done X-rays on the old Egyptian mines, and they had those spots in the back of their skull where it ended up being, it was the earliest known form of surgery, I believe they said it was. So yeah, no, it happens a lot. So wow.
And it just
What'd you say it was? Trepidation?
No, trepanation.
Trepidation. Okay.
Yeah.
Check that out.
It's something. I mean, 7,000 to 10,000 years it dates back to. It's people that have done this have had almost like having ayahuasca. They've had increased states of awareness, higher realms of consciousness. You know,
DMT.
It's a fascinating, absolutely fascinating thing, and it just kind of occurred to me. I thought, well, with children, they're kind of like more susceptible to these, if you like, otherworldly entities.
Yeah.
And the same part, I try to put pieces together. Probably like 2 and 2 makes 12, but it kind of their brains are not, you know, their skulls are not fused properly. So
it has
more
maybe chance to
cartilage, isn't it? There's a lot more cartilage, and then as the bone plates grow, the bits that are the cartilage tend. Although there is a little bit of movement between cranial bones, they say there isn't, but there is very slight movement because that's the craniosacral therapy. You can feel the plates moving very slightly. So it said there should be movement in all of the body in a weird kind of way. I was just thinking about it from a healing point of view. It's like, you know, when we're doing horses and things, it's like the feeling of the bones. And I've adjusted cheekbones before now, and they're actually fixed on the skull, but you can actually level them up. So I was just wondering, it's like whether the skull has more movement in it when you're little, and if it fuses together, but the plates kind of get a bit stuck, and you don't continue with that very slight movement, whether that does affect the flow of the fluid around the brain, because it goes up and around and then back down again, and because you've got the cranial flow. So it's like, I wonder if, you know, like you say, as you get older, you sort of get more hard-headed, don't you?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But a body out of balance tends to get fixed. So whether some of that is actually a dysfunction, and we're not supposed to shut down, but maybe we're supposed to develop it in a different direction, but that doesn't happen because of education. So it's not a case of being shut down, but it may just be that the way we use our brains has to change as we get older to accommodate that, and we don't change it, whereas some of us are more resistant to that. So we, you know, like I say, it's stubbornness seems to be quite a common trait amongst sort of like the sort of paranormal field, in that you sort of like you know, I've seen things when I was little, and I refuse to not believe that those things aren't there all the way through. So it's you know, it's like Wayne saying, going against the system. It's like, so maybe some people get more shut down because, like you say, they don't resist that. But it's quite interesting.
They're conditioned. So basically, and that's one thing with cryptids that I wonder about, because the parents are always saying there's no such thing as monsters, no such thing as monsters, and they're conditioned to learning that. And so when they finally go out in the forest and run into a dogman or something like that, it just PTSD sets them back and question all their reality on things. So but it's exactly.
Because it makes me wonder, actually, if that's why I can't answer the question that Phil asked at the start of the show about what single event triggered. Because I never got shut down enough for it to be triggered, so it was more of an opening up over time. Whereas, like you say, a lot of people, they get shut down and it's a specific event that triggers them back up again. You know, that they cannot discount. Like you say, especially with Dogman and Bigfoot, I mean, it's such a startling encounter that you can't not sort of process that. And like you say, have a response to it. No, that's an interesting thought, actually.
Growing up in the Bible Belt, we weren't allowed to talk about ghosts and anything strange because it went against religion. And talking to a lot of people lately about near-death experiences, that has opened people back up and started things again for them.
Well, and that's the thing too with the Christian. Growing up, I was never really, you know, into it as much as my parents were. But then learning the paranormal and then learning cryptids, it's like there's more to it, and you're more opened up about it, and you're going, okay, now I start to understand. I'm not having somebody tell me what to believe right away, but it starts to come around, and you're going, okay, well, like the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's opened me back up for it, definitely.
Because the biggest problem, isn't it, is like when you do start paying more attention again, is to not discount your initial thought, because this is the irritation that I get when people are trying to debunk things. It's like you say, you sort of, when I hear the popping sound in my bedroom, everyone's like, oh, well, it could be your neighbours next door. And it's like, no, because I woke up, my brain is telling me there is an anomaly there. That is why I woke up. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so, but the instant thing is to discount things all the time, especially when you're female. It's like, you're being histrionic, you're being anxious, you're a worrier, you're not rational, blah, blah, blah. And like you say, your first instinct's usually the right one. And then you just double check it with your questions afterwards, just to sort of like reality check it a little bit, just in case. But trying to remember that is hard.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's funny because everybody that has some sort of connection to the paranormal or cryptids alone is autistic, have ADD. There's, they're on the spectrum somehow. And I'm just going, I have people, I'm ADD. And I'm like, oh, and you're into cryptids too. And, I've studied the paranormal. And I'm just going, okay, there's something to it, So to hear Wayne say that, I'm like, and I have ADD. So it's kind of, how do we get interested in this stuff? I have people that say, how the hell did you get into that? I have no clue. It's just one of those things, it pulls you in for some reason. But yeah, you're right.
I think neurodivergents, they're more inclined towards telepathy. Without realizing it, because it's like I was thinking about, when Phil earlier was saying about the voices outside, and my brain was like, well, most of my experience is actually internal. But my brain's bigger than my physical space. So all my reality is in a specific level of being. So the physical world doesn't register to me quite the same way. So I'm immersed in that. So to me, it's not separate. Whereas like a lot of people, they have the 3D and then the other stuff. And then to them, it's sort of separate. Whereas to me, it's just is there. It's part of me and it interacts with me. But I do tend to find out with the neurodivergents, they're either really spot on with intuition or, like you say, with autism, and a lot of it's pattern recognition as well.
That's
because there's nothing like an ADHD intuitive. I mean, they're all usually crazy spot on with their intuition, ADHD people. Autistic, I think it's more pattern recognition, and there's sort of like more telepathy type thing. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I think you're right, especially with the cryptids. Actually, I wonder if a lot of that is. Do you find that with the cryptids, there's a lot more neurodivergent people?
Definitely. In fact, just from people on podcasts alone saying, well, I was brought into this and I have ADD, and I'm just going, okay, there's another one, but it's both of them, and then spending 40 years in the paranormal, and then another, I think I'm at 18 for cryptids. It was just kind of, you start to see everybody who has all these neurodivergent, tendencies, stuff like that. So no, it's interesting. It's really interesting, but it's a lot to it. But how do you do a account like that? Oh, do you like cryptids? Okay, yeah, you're ADD, right? There's no way you can take a poll on it.
That's my current test. Is like I found out a couple of years, 12, 18 months now, that I was more than likely autistic.
Oh, really?
And literally everybody that is my friend is either autistic, ADHD, or ADHD, without exception. It's like the only people I can get on with that sort of see me or are attracted to me to talk to, or think that I'm a nice person worth knowing. They're all neurodivergent, and when I think about it, it's kind of weird because it's not supposed to be more than about 2% of the population or something. And I'm like, well, how come all of my friends are like that? And like you say, with the paranormal thing, I mean, most of my neurodivergent friends aren't into the paranormal, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't really say for sure about that one, but we do seem to interview an awful lot of people that are autistic or ADHD. And I'm like, all the ones that I pick out seem to have these traits without me even realizing. And then halfway through the conversation, they'll go, "Oh yeah, I'm ADHD," and I'm like, "Oh God, not another one."
Yeah, here we go.
yeah. So I might have guessed.
Bill, you said you were ADHD.
Sin, can I ask you something? Yeah, Sin. How many have you come across in the paranormal field? How many people have you come across which have suffered from PTSD from seeing a ghost?
Mine's from something different, but PTSD. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Do you think that's more likely a cryptid phenomenon than a paranormal one, the PTSD?
So. Yeah.
You know, aftermath.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's, like we were talking about yesterday, where if you see a cryptid and all of a sudden you start seeing UFOs and orbs and all this other stuff. So it's kind of that trust issue that we were talking about. I wonder if has something to do with, I don't know, the universe, or how people see it, or the home life they were brought up in, or if they were, some sort of traumatic incident as a child or whatnot. But there is definitely something to it. So, but you can't put your finger on it. You just know. You're going, okay, why are they like that? Okay, well, why am I like that? And then there's really no way to take a poll on it, elect a certain theory for it. But no, it also too definitely with cryptids. Yeah.
So in my experience, I've often found that PTSD is something which is reserved mostly for people that have witnessed some kind of like cryptid activity.
Yeah.
In the paranormal realms, you will witness a ghost. You will witness a supernatural event, which is, or paranormal, let's say, not supernatural, paranormal event. And attribute it to a ghost or an entity of some sort, or an orb or something like that. But you won't it won't lead on to seeing a cryptid. It won't lead on to seeing a UFO so much.
True.
Once you see a ghost, or
I was going to say, have you had any cryptid involvement, Sin, or are you just straight up paranormal? Just while we're on that subject before Phil continues.
Yeah, I did not know much at all about cryptids until about 2 years ago, when I started doing podcasts and posting on Legit, and people would come on talking about it. And then I find out I'm 5 miles from a cryptid here. It's called the Flintville Monster. I'm 5 miles from it. And I had never, ever, ever heard of that.
Yeah.
In my own county. So, And
I've got one 15, 20 minutes up the street from us. And Matt Harvey, where he's seen 8 to 10 different Bigfoot back there. And it's, it's less, probably 20 minutes away from our house. And even then, I didn't know about the cryptids were even that close. I was driving all the way out to Mammoth, which is like a 7-hour drive. I would use my vacation time, and then it would cost all this money in gas. And then I heard Matt on a podcast, and he kept saying, "Oh, well, Black Star Canyon." I'm like, that's so funny. We have one of those right next to our house. And then I come to find out he's talking about the same one. And I'm going, I'm driving 7 hours up there, 7 hours back, spend this much money, vacation, and they're 10, 15 minutes up the street from me.
A friend of mine, Bob Dahl, he also does the Caffeinated Cryptid podcast. and he's a great guy. He lives like 20 minutes from me, and he just did a documentary on the Flynville monster. I put him in touch with a couple of people that he could ask. It's the 50th anniversary of this thing.
Oh, so really?
It's been around since the 70s, and I had never ever heard of it.
Flynville monster. I'm writing down notes here. My memory's not so great.
Okay, listen, guys, I'm gonna have to. It's coming up to 3 hours. Okay. I'm gonna say Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas.
You too.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your time. I've so enjoyed talking to you and talking with you, not talking to you, talking with you. I've been talking a lot. I always talk a lot there, don't I? But no, thank you. Really, I do. And I hope for yourself and your families, you have a most lovely Christmas ever. I really do.
Definitely.
And you all as well.
All right. And I'm just pleased that, you know, we're doing this and we've got this community and friends and, you know, because even though kind of like Daniel and myself are more cryptid kind of thing, with yourself, Sin, and with Giggles, you know, and Cindy, it's kind of like it's a crossover. It's a really cool crossover to have. We have to have that, you know, because so many groups that we see are very blinkered and closed and shut off. And if you even mention anything, you know, cryptid on a ghost page, they're like, "What? No, you're on the wrong page. Go on, you know, get out."
Yeah, and that's why I made so many groups.
I think that's the wrong thing to do. I think that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah,
you know, I think what we're dealing with has one single origin.
Yeah,
I honestly do.
Crossed over.
I think they're all connected somehow.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
You know,
crazy.
And the thread of truth is there to be seen. It's just we're not ready to see it yet. I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll still keep hacking away, I guess, until we get there. You know, maybe with Spielberg and this Day of Disclosure, maybe that will cough up something. You know, he knows stuff. Spielberg does. He knows stuff.
Well, I'm sure. How many people have come up to him and said, "Oh, by the way, you know, I've seen this too," and all these different things. I'm sure he's got a list a mile long of people that have brought, you know, these certain encounters and stuff to him, and he's just probably thinking, "Oh, okay." Actually, you know what? He is ADD too.
Oh, really?
I know that because he was he also, his son has it, and they do some sort of a function for money or to bring people together to bring money towards a cure or not a cure, but more interested people into that type of ADD. So that's funny. God. So anyways, I'm done.
All right. Guys, thank you very much indeed. I do appreciate it. Daniel, thank you. Do you want to give a shout out for your group?
Cryptid Wranglers.
Okay.
It's got it to the point where I don't remember all 5 of the groups now. So,
so busy.
Links are in the description. Okay, for everyone.
Yeah.
Links will be in the description. Cindy, you want to give a shout out for any group? You've got founder of Elk Valley Paranormal.
Yeah. Hello to my Elk Valley Paranormal followers, and you guys go to Amazon and check out my books.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
Yep. I will put a link on for that as well. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, no worries. Right, guys, thank you very much and appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Nat, what do you think? Cool show.
No, it was great fun. I brought snacks with me this time as well, but it's only run to 3 hours instead of 4 hours. I've got my twirl ready just in case.
You had snacks, did you?
Yeah. I'm going to be prepared, and then it won't go because, on Friday I was starving.
I was dehydrated. Last time I dehydrated, so I made sure I done 2 cups.
Yeah.
I
thought if I bring snacks, I won't need them. So.
Yeah, I was dehydrating so badly. I was like, I had a tongue like a flip flop.
Yeah, no, it was impressive. I said to my friend today, I said, anybody that says that men don't talk as much as women have never met cryptid guys. I've never known anything like it. Bless them.
I know. We do know how to. Yeah. You get us on the subject of any cryptid, and it's like, just like boom, that's it.
Yeah,
Here we're gone. Yeah.
No, it's funny.
We love it. We do. We love it. All right. Okay. I'm gonna say thank you very much, and have a very merry, happy Christmas, Nat.
Yep, and you. Well, I'll see you tomorrow anyway on Dot Mirror.
Oh, yeah, we'll see each other. We'll see each other. Well, we're always in contact anyway, aren't we?
But no, happy Christmas to everybody else as well, because we're taking a break, aren't we? Before I think January the 9th, is it?
Yeah. I think is it January 9th? January 9th, first one.
Yeah, it's January the 9th. Got Jenny Sullivan from Emerald Isle Paranormal, so quite looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I saw her on that link you sent me.
Yeah, she's a force of nature. Jenny is. She's lovely.
So we that'll be quite good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, we're gonna have a break, aren't we? Because doing a weekly show takes a lot. It does take a lot, doesn't it? And it's like kind of so we're gonna be this will be our last show, guest show. There won't be any Friday Night Files until the 9th of January. Okay. Because that's like the joint show between both Natalie, Goldfish Paranormal, and myself, Dogman Teepee. So we're going to be back on the 9th, but we have throughout January got lots of cool guests on. So I may just come on quickly if you want to as well. We could discuss it for New Year's, just to sort of do a little thing for New Year's, but it won't be anything too long. Okay, because I've got eggnog to drink.
Like everyone's got alcohol to drink in New Year, haven't they?
Haven't they? Yeah. So
very rare.
I got eggnog. Yeah, but I got no cherry. I lost my cherry.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's the backbone of British humour, isn't it? It really is. Innuendo.
I couldn't help it. I think I'm overtired today.
It's too much Benny Hill with you, isn't it? It's too much Benny Hill. Yeah.
Oh, I was out headbanging last night at the club. It's like I can't help myself. A decent metal song comes on. I'm too old to mosh, and I've got a headbanging headache today. And it's like a hangover from moshing. And I think I stopped the filter on my mouth a little bit. Yeah. Mind.
I saw you actually. Yeah, when I was messaging, because I was messaging stuff like last night, and then you popped up, and I thought you're meant to be out, but you.
Yeah, I did actually. I don't normally take my phone with me to the club, but I wasn't sure how long my friend would be out for, so I thought I was standing on my own. Sometimes I just check my phone if I'm not dancing. So I did actually have a period of time where they was playing some metal that was a little bit too fast for me, so I thought I'll just check my phone while I'm here. So yeah. It's there.
Cool. No, that's all right. Let your hair down, your antlers down, which is nice.
Yeah, at least I didn't voice note, because you'd have heard nothing but in the background.
Crazy.
So yeah, it would have been a little bit
crazy. Oh, I'll tell you a quick funny one. Really weird one happened. Right, we've got two Amazon Alexa speakers downstairs, right, which are linked to the TV. So like, because I love movies and stuff. So so we got those speakers, and our lights are connected. We got from IKEA these like bulbs which Wi-Fi enabled. They're cheaper than the Philips Hue ones. So we got those, and usually when I'm gonna sort of like do last biscuits for the dogs, I say, right, come on Ruby, come on Baz, let's go upstairs and come on bedtime. And I go, Alexa, turn off lounge lights. And as I said this last night, it the A turned around in a woman's voice and said, "Yes, it's about time. It's your bedtime."
Really?
And I was like, "Right, so sorry." Slap wrist.
Yeah. When your
Yeah,
own
but it's a
check is
voice I
telling you off.
hadn't. Yeah. And I was like, "It's about time. It's your bedtime." I'm like, "I've never heard that before." And I really felt quite naughty. You know, I was slinked upstairs, like feeling really quite like a dirty stop out.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd be like, well, I'm staying up an extra 2 minutes just to prove that I've got control over my Alexis. It's like, I'm not doing what you tell me.
How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you? Yeah. So, yeah, it is, isn't it? So, yeah, I know I've never heard that before, and that was a bit weird. I don't know, that's a bit odd.
To see if that happens again or not.
Yeah, I thought it was you for a minute. I thought it's not coming over the A. She's not coming
just
over
channeling.
Alexa now.
Yeah.
Natalie, biz up.
Yeah. I'm suddenly a computer hacker. I can't even use my own mobile phone. It's like, yeah, unless I figured out how to use my brain power on it.
Yeah, no, you'll get there. We've got a bit of time now. We've got a bit of time.
Yes, that was my plan for Christmas.
Yeah,
to try and figure out how to use the microphone.
I know, innit?
Yeah.
Oh, they're getting all. I've got to go. I better go. The dogs are getting all fidgety. All right, Natalie. Thank you, people.
Yeah, thank
Very
you.
happy Christmas.
Yeah, happy Christmas, everyone.
Might see you New Year's. What do you think, Natalie? Maybe New Year's.
Yeah, I don't do anything New Year's normally, so it's not normally an issue.
Yeah.
But
I'll be like sort of just like hammered on eggnog. So you know,
that'll be fun. No supervision and drunk in charge of the YouTube.
Yeah, so if you want to see us on New Year's, hammered on eggnog and whatever Natalie drinks, creme de menthe, then yeah,
really?
for sure.
I'm a vodka girl, me. I just like my vodka.
Absinthe. I would have thought absinthe. Yeah.
Really? I've not tried absinthe. I've always been either vodka or rum. I liked vodka, so I stuck with it. I haven't tried very many others, to be fair. I just always liked my vodka, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not that sophisticated.
No, I'm not either, really. It's just, you know.
Yeah. I used to be cider. It used to be like strongbow.
Yeah, you look like a cider drinker.
I like the dry cider. I don't like the sweet stuff. But,
yeah, no, dry ciders. Yeah,
it's got to be dry.
Not the
it's like my humour.
Not the lightning stuff where you sort of like find yourself under some bridge somewhere wrapped in a newspaper.
I used to like the black diamond, diamond white. That wasn't far off the white lightning, to be fair.
Yeah.
I used to be quite partial to that. I was quite upset when they stopped making it.
Yeah. See, that would have been a different kind of newspaper. That would have been a Telegraph you'd been wrapped up in. Yeah, a bit more sophisticated. Yeah.
Right, anyway, we need to go before we're on for another 40 minutes without realising.
Yeah, all right, we're going to go. Take care. Happy Christmas, everybody. Thank you. All right, and where's me? Here we go.